Bennington show. Vito's been on lately with his openings, right?
I've noticed this.
Yeah.
I mean, he is on.
Must be trouble at home because he's doing a lot of extra work. Hey, it is the Bennington show. Thursday. I'm Ron Bennington.
I'm Gail Bennington.
This always is what we like to call the brain trust of the Bennington show. Black Girl Douglas. Thank you.
Woo!
Vito Calisi. Boy who's so greasy. And of course, the man-child. You know what I mean?
I do.
You know what? The change was made uptown when the big man joined the band. Chris Stanley.
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction.
Between you and Earl, you would be my perfect saxophone player.
You have to merge, Earl, the one.
If we can get that experiment to work, I will love it.
Or at least fund it, just to see if it can happen.
So, Chris, if you need me tomorrow night, I've been asked to babysit, so I won't be available. But then I have to go out late. I'm going to the cellar. I think they have me booked 3:15 and another gig at 5:30. Here's the weird things. Like, you can't even say anything about that because it's going to be sold out with a
Right.
fucking audience that's so excited to see you. It's crazy.
You can't even just be like, yeah, just because I want to sleep.
Yeah. I mean, I can't be like, does anybody else want eggs? But you would think, I mean, it doesn't matter. You could be doing the Sunday brunch show. There's an audience like, I can't believe I'm at the Comedy Cellar in New York City. Why?
I'm ready to fucking laugh.
Bring it on. Bring it on. Tell us how crazy differences between men and women. This is my new bit that I'm doing. Seems like women carry purses, but men just carry guilt. I just made that up now. It's actually, I thought I'd make fun of that kind of humor. I'm like, hey, maybe I could do something with that. Do you have a place I can put my guilt? I don't suffer from guilt. Shame, yes.
Yeah.
Not guilt.
Shame is more like because it's who you are, and so you are.
Boy, I'm not sure. I just know that when people say, do you feel guilty? I'll go, no. And they go, aren't you ashamed of yourself? I'm like, very, very. Earl has zero shame.
No shame?
Oh, yes, I do.
What are you ashamed of?
But pegging yourself with a dildo?
Don't be ashamed of
On
that.
camera.
Don't.
You're a freak, girl.
Let it go. It's fine.
Find that freak in you.
I accept you.
Find out what's taboo in you. And share your freak with the rest of us, because it's a beautiful thing. What are you ashamed of, Earl?
Just like things left unfinished.
Oh God, yeah, you're terrible that way. I forgot. I mean, you didn't come anywhere near reaching your potential. You know?
Yeah. No, I mean, like,
not even close. I mean, you could have been anything.
Do you feel shame or guilt about that?
Probably both. Probably more shame than guilt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like there's tons of things left unfinished.
I don't have any guilt, and I killed a man.
What?
And so you are guilty.
Yeah, but 8 years ago, so statute of limitations has
I think
passed.
that works that way.
Woo! That was such a relief. I threw a party that night.
Loopholed it.
Yeah, I called it an above the law party. So much fun.
With the Corleone route.
Earl, if you like, I could start a detective agency with you, and me and you could just go out and solve crimes. Finder of lost souls. Gail, you're too busy with your life now, huh?
Yeah, I'm very busy. I'm walking around like a zombie.
But you feel like you're a bad mom or a good mom?
I don't think it's time to judge that yet. I'm still spinning plates. Like, we have to figure out.
I remember when I was at this point, I was like, oh, this is already done. And that's how good of a parent I was. You know? I had set you on your way.
But
By the way, this thing today where they're showing the people have already can saw the new slat wall.
It gives me so much pleasure.
And it's at it's just a saw that you could buy at any Home Depot. You could just go down there and solve the slap
You
wall.
just like escape a Denimora from that shit.
I'm gonna attempt to take some time off the news. The news drives me crazy now.
Yeah. It's weird because it always pulls you back in, but it is important to
By
take
the way,
a break.
So I am going to watch your baby.
Yes, tomorrow evening.
But let me say this. That baby gets out of line, it's getting a smack.
What? We don't do that. She's just a baby.
No, don't get me wrong. Not with a balled up fist.
Yeah, that would be a punch. I would hope not that.
A little backhand.
No.
Don't you ever. I hold the bottle.
Don't tell me what to do. I tell you what to do.
We had a niece that did that to her dad. What was she, like 3 or 4?
Yeah, my little cousin, when she was just, about 3 or 4.
We just rolled on the ground laughing.
Attempted to just parent her like anyone would. And she screamed at him, "You don't tell me what to do. I tell you what to do." Exactly like that.
Here was the funny part of it. So I was living in Virginia at the time, and they came up to visit with their small child who just loves my kids. You know, they would be like her big cousins. And they were up there for 7-8 days. And on the 8th day, her father said to her, "Why don't you take off those pajamas and let's see some of these museums?" And she wanted no part of it.
Yeah, she wanted to hang out with her cousins.
Yeah, she did not want to explore. Even though we said, "Oh, they're going with you." Didn't matter to her.
She wanted to play.
She wanted to play. This is where the games are. This is thing. And didn't want to see the first fucking plane that ever flew. I mean, the museums in Washington are unbelievable.
Yeah,
and they're
crazy.
fucking free. And if there wasn't like class trips there, it would be perfect.
There's all these children running
Bunch
around.
of fucking 9th graders. This is lame. Let's go.
This sucks.
Nothing here is metal. Oh, my mind is going through them changes. I got to make sure that I have a copy of Baby Shark to play for the baby.
Yes, that is her jam. And if you checked out the New York Times today, the Baby Shark just hit the top, like the Hot 100 Billboard.
You are shitting me.
Yes. Not even joking. And by the way, to make it even more interesting, it's not like a new release. It's just that it has gotten so out of hand. This is a baby song for babies, not even kids. This is a song for babies and toddlers. And someone told me, "Oh, did you get on Baby Shark yet? She's going to go crazy for it." Someone who has an older toddler.
Right.
You'll be listening to that nonstop. I'm like, what would be the difference between this and any other song?
Any other song.
And yet, I played it for her once, and it is her fucking jam.
Here's what happens.
She loves Baby Shark.
When the music's starting, like her arms start going, she's just, yes, Baby Shark. And then that makes us be like, yeah, Baby Shark. So we start to rock out to it. But I've never heard of an infant song to make the Hot 100.
No. I'm trying to think. It's like maybe a kid song that would be like a. There she's gone.
She's mbop. That just. She bounces too much, huh?
She's a bouncer.
They got this bouncing thing that she's. It's hysterical. She's dancing along to mbop.
But she, the weird thing is when I put on the song, it's not even just as the sound of the song starting, but I have it set up like I'll ask Alexa to play it. So now when I'm like, "Alexa," she's like, "What is about to happen?" So she thinks like the Alexa machine is just for Baby Shark.
You don't ask Alexa to do anything
I'll
else?
do other stuff, but if she hears me say Alexa, like she'll be like, "Is it?" But it's to her, it's the baby.
Play a little bit to see if we're all could enjoy this song.
Yeah, you know music.
Yeah.
Mommy shark, mommy shark.
All right, stop it for a second. So this is just the YouTube, right?
Yes.
Look at the number of hits.
What's the number on that, Chris?
2.1 billion hits.
2.1 billion hits are all.
Billion. With a B.
At least half of those are Juju. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I checked the Billboard chart. It is 32 with a bullet.
That's crazy. Go ahead and hit it.
Daddy shark, daddy shark, daddy shark, daddy shark.
There's like a little bit.
Grandma shark, do 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 do. Say that last. It's the end. It's the end. It's the end. It's the end.
2 billion hits. 2 billion.
Are there multiple Baby Shark songs, or this is just the Baby Shark?
There's
song?
like
That's the
other,
hit.
but this is the hit. Like there's other people who I guess cover Baby Shark.
Here, Austin will pick that up for you. He's on line 1. Hey, Austin.
Hey, first, my kids are in the car and they're freaking out that you guys are.
They're loving it?
Oh, yeah.
Now, how old are your kids?
They're doing it. 2 years old and then an infant. So he's like a year old now.
Wow. So the 2-year-old still loves the song.
Oh, yeah.
So you might have to listen to this for
Yes,
years.
it's gonna go on for a while because it's
Yeah,
it's like
I'm scared.
baby to toddler age.
Oh, yeah. But they have club remixes, too,
You hear this,
to Baby
Chris?
Shark,
Yes, this is shocking.
Yeah.
where they drop and the whole crowd goes wild.
Oh, it goes to show you, I guess, a lot of young parents still party. Hey, Chris in Napa. Chris, what's up, buddy?
How's it going? Yeah, my daughter is 3.5. She was actually born during Shark Week.
Oh,
And
that's exciting.
I think I have a
Oh,
Shark Week
man.
baby.
It was good because we were in the hospital for 5 days. She was born premature, but that week got us through watching all the sharks in the hospital room. And then fast forward 2 years, and this is her favorite song, and she knows how to use Alexa now. So she goes, Alexa,
Oh
Baby
no!
Shark.
Oh no!
Out of
I'm
the
in
blue.
trouble.
during football games, and it's kind of insane, but it's a beautiful thing in that song, especially when you get to the daddy part in the back. They make him sound like a goof. Daddy Shark.
I know. It's really
It's
funny
the
to
best.
me how they based that up. I mean, I thought we were past that kind of gender
Yeah.
stereotype.
Also, the ageism, because
Yeah.
not only is the grandma shark like this, but if you notice the dance that goes along with it on YouTube, mommy shark, daddy
Yeah.
shark, but then this is like you've lost your teeth.
It's
You
true.
take your fingers away. That's ageism.
Gonna die, gonna die. Let's go to Joey. What's up, Joey?
Hey, Ron.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe about a week ago in Madison Square Garden for the Knicks game, 17,000 people rocking to the Shark song like it was the biggest thing in the world. I never even heard it before. It was the first time I heard the song. I said, what am I witnessing?
There must be a baby explosion or whatever you call that.
It must be. Because that's like the reason everyone would know it. You're like, oh, this is a joke in our house. We all play
Right.
this. We all.
That is so weird. But, I mean, also, it's freaky. The cartoon shit in here is
It's
freaky.
really bizarre. The kids are a little weird. The cartoon itself is weird.
I don't think they made, like, crazy, insane cartoons when I was younger. Maybe they just seem normal to me. But cartoons for little kids today, and I would say this happened over the past 25 years, I find them to be frightening.
They're like, I think they get exponentially weirder because now, in retrospect, there's cartoons and kid shows that I watched when I was young that were weird, but I think that they just get weirder and weirder by the year.
Yeah, I find them to be. I mean, by the time we got to Teletubbies, I think we were pretty nuts. I don't know.
Teletubbies is batshit insane.
Vito, you're our youngest one. Did you
Yeah,
watch
you were
any of
probably-
those? Were you a Teletubby guy?
I watched Teletubbies, Tubby Custard.
I remember, and this must have been like 12 years ago, they were shooting something for Blue's Clues out on the street, right?
Fucking love Blue's Clues.
And people were going crazy. They had to fucking keep people back like it was Beatlemania because they were shooting a scene, and people were trying to break through and and I'm like, who? What?
Yeah, when my little cousin was just a kid, I was too old for this stuff, but I would watch it with her. And Blue's Clues is just like, I don't know, something about that show. It just like chills you out.
It's
like,
unsettling. Because I watched like an episode before. It was fucking nuts.
Kids
You didn't like it?
No, I didn't like it. It was weird. I thought the guy was strange. I thought the dog was even weird.
Yeah, it's scary. And then there was always like, wasn't there like fucking rumors about the guy? Like
there was always weird rumors about him,
Like
but
a murder-suicide. I think that
was it Steve?
It was Steve, and he got like a drug addiction, and that's why he left the show and was replaced by the.
yeah,
But it
you're
wasn't
saying,
true.
but that's not true.
No, it's not true.
Yeah,
Just-
those are the weird rumors that went around. Chris, did you have a weird show like you when you watch like I'm talking toddler Chris, like that little weird put your thumbs up trying to get everybody to like you, Chris?
I remember watching Ren and Stimpy when I was that young, and I was
It
just
was not made for infants though.
It wasn't for little kids, but it was for kids, and that shit was nightmare fuel. It was creepy as fuck.
I thought that was the beginning of Adult Swim.
Adults got into it, but it definitely was on. What was it on?
It was on
Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon, yeah.
Yeah.
And it came on in the middle of very like safe regular cartoons. Then
And it was
this
just crazy red. But see,
It was
I think
just
the
gross.
difference.
It was like gross you out
They
stuff.
weren't trying to teach you. The Teletubbies tried to
Yeah.
teach you. Blue's Clues tried to teach you. There was always something along those lines.
Right.
But no, I got it. Nick, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Yeah.
I have my son is 3, my daughter is 1. I couldn't get him into the Baby Shark song, but if you put on "I'm Still Standing" by Elton John, they lose their fucking mind.
Elton John is like a baby fucking writer.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just because they started standing and they never know when they're going to stop.
It was it. And Gail, the first time we left our kids with our parents, the first night we went out, we kept kirking out because we thought that the other one had the kids, and we forgot that we had left them with our parents. So just remember.
Yeah, I'm
that
gonna have to
they're
keep that in mind. I feel like it will be pretty unsettling.
I'll tell you this: I'm taking her out for ice cream.
No,
and I'm
she
taking
doesn't
her
eat
out.
ice cream yet.
She eats candy corn.
No, she does not. She has no teeth.
Gum.
Please.
I wonder how high I can throw her. Probably pretty goddamn high. But I went outside and did it. Jeff in New Orleans.
Hey guys, y'all remember? It was around the Teletubby time. It was DJ Lance. It was a show with these monsters. The guy's name was DJ Lance, and Biz Markie was on the show all the time.
That's really weird having Biz Markie on the show.
they had this song, and it would. The way that he would play these different songs.
Yeah, Yo Gabba Gabba.
Oh, I forgot about this.
Yeah.
Yo Gabba Gabba. Yeah, they were selling out fucking arenas.
Yeah.
And didn't they not even speak English? They talk like a gibberish language.
I just thought of something, Gail. I took you to an arena show one time, remember? It was some weird dancing, singing thing, and all the kids were dancing in the aisles. It was like a nightmare.
Was it Sharon Lois and Bram?
I don't
The
know.
Elephant Show?
Oh, yeah, Skimmery Dink?
Yes, I was obsessed. And I still sing the last song, Skimmery Dinky Dink. I sing that to my baby.
Oh.
And she does enjoy it. But yes, the Elephant Show was very popular. But I will give you one from my childhood that I'm telling you is so effing creepy. It was a show called Zoobly Zoo. Okay?
Uh-huh.
And it was like people dressed as animals, which you think like wouldn't be too creepy. I'm telling you, it's freaky.
All right,
So
let's say it.
freaky.
Everyone up, everyone in. Time for the fun to begin. Come along with us to Zoobly Zoo.
It's like Island of Dr. Moreau.
I literally was going to say I'm Dr. Moreau and I'm your host for this.
Look at how horrifying. The bird woman is by far the scariest.
It's terrible.
Welcome to Zoobly Zoo.
Dude, here, this is also, whenever I think of this shit, I remember this. So remember the show Get a Life, which was such a, he did a parody of this show on
skating
Zoo Animals on
I didn't know
Wheels.
that was a parody.
It's a parody of Zoobly Zoo, and I think of this shit probably once a week.
Ann in Boston. Ann.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
So the Baby Shark song, they did it on the Late Late Show about 3 months ago with Josh Groban. They did an orchestra version of it. You have to look it up. It's pretty funny.
I thought maybe Josh Groban wrote it. Wouldn't that be weird if he wrote that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they did the whole thing, like in black tie.
I kind of feel like it's almost a Green Day song, though.
Simple enough.
Hey, Randy, what's up, buddy?
How you doing, Benningtons?
Hey.
Hey, my kids grew up watching SpongeBob, and SpongeBob was just, that show's bizarre. You know what I mean? It's just a weird-ass show, but if you think that started it, then, you know, we're forgetting stuff like Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. You know, any of that Sid and Marty crap or Croft stuff.
Oh, I forgot. Now I owe everybody an apology because I grew up with this Sid and Marty Croft, and they were insane.
That's so creepy.
Yeah.
I've never seen Sigmund. This is terrifying.
Yeah. And that kid was later a TV star in Family Affair. He was that was Jody from Buffy and Jody. And they were like kid stars. But HR Puffin stuff was trippy. They always used to say that college kids would do acid and watch it. All right, I owe everybody an enormous apology because I thought this was something new with the weirdness. But they say that children or babies like big eyes.
They do, yeah, absolutely. I don't know what that is, which is weird because they have big eyes. Like babies have. They're like, oh, it's like me.
Yeah, that's all you really want to do with art is relate to it. And colorful is a big thing for babies.
Yes.
They really never got out of the 80s. Russ, we got you, buddy?
Hey, Bennington.
Hey.
I was just wondering, Gail, did you ever play those David Bowie lullabies for the baby?
Yes, they're so sweet. It's like, it's one of my favorites because it's one that like I actually enjoy when I put it on.
I know. Did you send that, Russ?
No, I did not send it.
Oh, you were
but I
just
was
curious about it.
Yeah.
If she rocks it out or not.
All right. Thanks. Yeah, she's a little Bowie baby, a little Ziggy baby. Or maybe I'll dress her up.
Oh, good idea.
You know what I'm going to do? Aladdin Sane. So when you come home, you're going to have a baby Aladdin Sane there. This is so cute. Remember we were listening to this before the baby was born and we got all choked? That would make me sleepy. Not jump up and down on my bouncy jumper. What's the name of that bouncy jumper?
I don't know what the name of it is. I think it might be just like a play school door jumper. But it's her favorite thing in the world.
And she's gotten so good at it that it's almost scary. She's almost like Peter Pan in it.
She really gets height. It's making me very nervous.
You should be. Maybe you need a mat for the bottom of that.
I got it. Look it.
But a big, like a gym mat. She's very comfortable bouncing.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think. Hey, Matt in Michigan, what's up?
Hey, Benningtons, how are you today?
Cool, man.
Hey, talking about different songs and whatnot, I have a 3-year-old right now, and she's definitely into the whole, Baby Shark thing or whatever. But when she was little and even now, she likes me to sing her songs or whatever. I've always sang her songs from the movie The Three Amigos. She loves that My Little Buttercup song.
We do that all the time with her. We do that constantly.
Yeah, and to the point where now she sings it herself, and it's just hilarious to me.
That's hilarious. I love it. All right, this is from Lisa on Twitter. Can't find your phone number. Baby Shark has been around since 2002-ish. Also, the ending was different. It said, Grandpa Shark died and went to heaven, and came back as a baby shark. So it would start over and over.
That's really weird.
They're into reincarnation then, the original Baby Shark.
You ever think that your baby could be reincarnated?
Yeah, sometimes I do.
Who do you think?
Sometimes I think my husband's grandmother.
Really?
But sometimes I also think I guess it would be great-great-grandmother. Because she sees there is a blanket that she knit that's in my house that she's obsessed with. And she touches it, and the way she looks at it It's like obsessive the way she looks at it.
That was my great grandmother, so it would have been your great great grandmother. But guess what? When I was little, I was obsessed with those things, and I would stare at them and look at each knitted thing. It was very very weird. I think also because they're colorful,
right?
And you could start to. You're like, oh, stuff is built.
But the weird thing is, those two different women that I mentioned had the same name. And that name, weirdly, is her middle name.
Not weirdly. I mean, you did it on purpose.
No, I had no idea.
Here's who I always thought it was. Barry Crimmins.
Oh, I would actually really love that. Little baby Barry. Oh.
This is the Barry Crimmins book I got you. Helen Crimmins, his wife, made this.
Oh, my
And it's called May to May. And it's the last year of Barry's life. Stories and pictures, and I'm not going to lie to you. It gets pretty sad as you get close to the end, but that's something that we didn't share with him, so it meant a lot to me to say it. But it's phenomenal.
This is amazing.
Yeah, we'll take a nice picture of that and put it up on Instagram. But there's some single pictures of Barry's that you can buy off the site. I think we should do that, too. And you know how I found out about that book? Earl Douglas's Filtered Excellence.
Oh, nice.
Because I've never met Helen before. Have you? Or
I haven't met Helen, no.
Yeah. And there's pictures of Bobcat in there and different people who were there towards the end.
This is amazing.
There's a guy in there that I guess he knows from Chicago who's on my favorite TV show. And I'm like, I didn't even know Barry knew him. Barry knew everybody.
Yeah, he did.
Everybody. How did you even find out about that, Earl?
I was following Barry on Twitter, and then I think Helen started following me, and then I followed her back, and she was posting that, the book was almost done. So I was just tracking the book's development on Twitter like everyone else, and and then she said it was out. And
this is in the Filtered Excellence. You'll have to let her know that we love it, Earl.
Yeah.
We just love it.
This is the coolest. These are so amazing.
I thought we were going to get a little paperback book. Look at this book. It's like
it's beautiful.
It's a hard,
It's a coffee table book, and the shots are fantastic.
They're fantastic, and there's something to. I mean, first of all, she's obviously a great photographer, but Barry's got one of those faces that, you could read whatever you wanted into it. I just dropped my button. I got it down there. Don't worry about it. But he's one of those guys I always thought, like, he would have been a baseball coach or have fought with Cuban refugees, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, he's just got one of those well-lived, beautiful faces.
There's a Hemingway quality.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Agree. Yeah.
Except he thought that Hemingway was a prick. But what are you going to plug, Chris?
I want to plug that the Crashing Unmasked is happening next Tuesday, January 15th at 4 p.m. at the Village Underground in New York City. Judd Apatow, Pete Holmes. That's the interrobang.com for a chance at free tickets to Unmasked with Judd Apatow and Pete Holmes.
So, Earl, why don't you take a nice picture of the cover of this book so we can... Yeah, Gail, don't let yourself get to the end of it while we're on the air.
Okay.
There's a thing of Bobcat sitting next to that bed hours after Barry had gone, but he's laughing and having a... You know what I mean? Like, it is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Here's Eric. Eric, what's up?
Hey guys. David Bowie did a Peter and the Wolf, like an orchestral Peter and the Wolf.
I listened to it. First of all, I love Peter and the Wolf, and I think probably because you played it for me when I was a kid. But
I made up a whole different story about it.
I know, I remember. But I was looking for Peter and the Wolf and found this Bowie one, which I never knew existed.
What was the song that you used to sing to your brother and play with, like, little...
Time for the season for loving.
All the toys would have to dance to that fucking song. I'm like, why that song?
And it would be like a slow motion moment where two like dolls would kiss.
Hey, Justin, what's up?
Hey, Ronnie B, $1 million. Gail, congrats.
Thank you.
So my kid's 4, and she went through all that Baby Shark, and if you guys haven't seen it, the Elephants Have Wrinkles song.
Nah, don't know it.
Yeah, but if you guys get a chance. But so without fail, we tried 1 million lullabies. We tried everything. The only thing that we could get our kid to fall asleep to was Seal's Kiss from a Rose. Every time. It's like clockwork. She gets maybe a quarter of the way into the song, she's out like a light.
I don't blame her.
It does sound like a lullaby already.
There used to be a graying tower alone on the sea.
I think it's weird for a kid to like this song. Doesn't Earl look like Seal?
Yeah, with,
No,
complexion.
No lupus scars.
Is that what it is?
I think it's lupus scars.
Did you know that when it snows, my eyes become alive?
Was this the one from Batman?
Yes, it was. Because I had that soundtrack as a kid just for this song mostly.
Hey, Mike in Canada.
Oh, yeah. Hey, guys. Yeah, in Canada, when I was a kid, there was 2 shows. They started in the 60s. They ran for decades. One was called Mr. Dress Up, and the other was Friendly Giant. And these guys were like icons to Canadian kids. If you, basically whistled a song from either one of those songs today, someone between the age of 30 and 70 is probably going to know what you're talking about.
Let's hear some of the Friendly Giant. What was the big song?
Oh, man, the Friendly Giant, it was just a recorder song, but he had this little rooster, Rusty the Rooster and Jerome the Giraffe, and they were just fucking fascinating to a little kid. He had this little band of kitty cats that would play jazz music. It was awesome.
Kids love alliteration, huh? I like the way that it seems like really far away and vacant, like Western Canada. You know what I mean? You just have that thing. We're on our own here.
Friendly Giant.
Boy, not a lot of money went into this.
Nope. It's on a budget.
Hey, we only had 2 channels to choose from, but it's black and white.
Man, this is slow moving. Just to get into the
Kids would never put up with this shit these days.
Here we are.
Look at the size of the Friendly Giant. I mean, he's literally so much bigger than his furniture. He can pick it up with his fingers. Not working,
Look
Chris?
up. And that's where
Look way up.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the only one on there. All right, thanks, Mike. Peace.
All right, I guess you had to be Canadian, maybe.
I think you'd have to be 8 at the least, and nothing else to watch. Hey, Sean in Virginia. Sean.
Hey guys, I just wanted to thank Gail for bringing up Zoobilee Zoo. Anytime I bring that show up, no one remembers it. I grew up in New Jersey. I guess I don't know if it was a regional show or whatnot. I'm in Virginia now.
It was just a very short run of the late 80s.
You don't remember what channel it was on?
I don't remember what channel it was on. I was so little it was put on for me. So
yeah, it was put on for me. I don't remember actually liking it, but what they had was a live event somewhere, either Voorhees, New Jersey or Marlton, New Jersey, where it's like a live meet and greet. And for some reason, my parents thought it'd be great to bring me there. But I know I didn't like the show. I remember hating it.
It's really creepy.
It's the most creepiest show ever on TV. So I get to the live event. I'm probably 3 years old. And I forgot the character's name. It was the Beaver. It was pretty much dressed like a fucking construction worker or something. I go up to him and I start screaming like a little kid that hates Santa Claus. I mean, just blood-curdling screams. And I just ran out. I ran out of there. I saw my dad talking to the beaver like two regular gentlemen talking to each other. It was just the most
That's
fucked up
fucking Ben
experience.
Vereen
of all
in
time.
that.
Yeah.
What's that?
Ben Vereen was in that. I just saw him.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So you were seeing some really nice, high-class entertainment there. Randy in Atlanta.
Hey, Ron.
Yeah.
How you doing today?
Cool, man.
Hey, just a quick story. I've got a 7-year-old granddaughter, Abigail, and we were watching her one night, and I'm watching all the stuff that she wants to watch on TV, and to me, it's just bizarre. I didn't understand any of it, so I thought, well, I'll show her some of the stuff that I remember from a kid, and I pulled up an old episode of the Mickey Mouse Club, and you probably remember that one, and at the very end of it, when they sing the song, whatever is the goodbye song, Mickey, I see her watching it with this very suspicious look on her face. And when it finally ends, she looks at me and she goes, "Papa, that's creepy."
Oh, that's nice. She's starting to figure out who the weirdos are. William F. Baldwin wanted you to know that there's some great There Might Be Giants kids albums.
Oh, nice.
I thought all their albums were kids albums.
Good point.
The One USA said, grew up with Gula Gula Island. A fucked up family adopted a fucked up frog. And our friend Adrian said, my nephew is obsessed with the Beat Bugs on Netflix. All Beatles songs sung by lesser musicians like Eddie Vedder.
Cheap shot.
I throw in the lesser. That was my cheap shot. I'd like to see that though. The Beatles song sung by other people. I know what I'm doing Friday night. I'm getting her some chocolate ice cream.
No, she's not had chocolate nor ice cream.
No, this will be a big surprise for her because it's so cold.
Today she's supposed to be trying sweet potato for the first time, so that's pretty exciting.
I was going to try steak with her.
No teeth again.
Yeah, but you gum it, you get all that juicy blood out. Hey, I just wanted to remind all the Coast Guard workers out there, all the Coasties. We know you're not getting paid, but you can have a garage sale. You can walk dogs. You can become a mystery shopper. This is the stuff that went out for the Coast Guard.
Yes. Send out to the Coast Guard of, hey, while we're not giving you your paycheck, here are some ways to make money.
So the Coast Guard is no longer considered part of the U.S. military. They were always a branch of the military my whole life. And now I guess there was the Homeland Security.
I did not realize that.
I didn't realize it either.
I thought it was a branch of the military. I thought that's
not where their money comes from. Because those guys, you ever see like in the movie Apocalypse Now, when they're going up the river and stuff like that? That was always Coasties driving those boats.
I didn't realize that.
There's plenty of you guys don't realize. My brother was in the Coast Guard, was a chief there. And I just got this picture of him, Gail, just before I came in here today. I want you to see this. This is him heading up the Panama Canal right now as we're speaking.
Holy shit.
Isn't that crazy?
That's amazing.
And the entire, you see those speakers that are along the entire canal, because the canal's not wide. But that whole where the speakers up and they play Panama by Van Halen the entire and I guess that was in the treaty or whatever. But it's such a good song. They said they never get sick of it. What would you be doing now, right? No, that's okay. Raul in New Mexico. Raul, we got you, buddy?
Raul.
Can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Hey, how's it going? I was just...
Good, man. You're gone again?
Raul?
I hope they didn't build a wall over him. Jake in Marine Park. Jake.
Hey, congratulations, Gail.
Oh, thanks.
Crazy thing, kid was very colicky. The only thing that calmed him was Monty Python's Always Look on the Bright Side of Life.
That calms me too, actually.
Always look on the bright side of life.
Really make you mad. Other things just make you swear and curse.
Hey, Tyler. Tyler, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Cool, man.
Have you ever heard of the show Wienerville? It aired on Nickelodeon from 1993 to 1996.
It's weird.
And,
It's familiar. I feel like once I see it, I'm going to recognize it.
Chris, were you a Wiener?
I have no idea what Wienerville is. I do not recognize this at all.
Yeah, I recognize it. I do.
It's a head puppet show.
Yeah.
And there was this one puppet at his name was Boney. And he would always do little segments at the end, and he would close it off by saying, I'm Boney, leave me alone.
Jesus.
It's very, very scary.
You don't have to worry, Boney. I'm leaving you alone.
Yeah, right?
Earl, did you take a picture of that cover?
Yeah,
What's
got
that?
it. Oh, hold on.
Let me see. Well, send it over. Let's put it up on Instagram. Everybody's in a thing today where I literally have to say, here's where the puck is going. You know what I mean? See that puck? Chase it. Let's go over here to Morgan in Kennett Square, home of the New Year's Eve mushroom drop. How you doing, Morgan?
Good, bud. It took a while for my baby to get to sleep in the beginning. We were trying to figure out everything we could do, and I started just pulling up race car videos from a racetrack in Germany because the laps were like 8 minutes long, and it was just this droning noise. But it put her to sleep, and I got to watch race car videos. So it worked out for me.
So these are like Formula One cars, right?
Yeah, whatever. Just the Nürburgring in Germany, whatever they had out there. It was just the noise. Whatever car it was, it didn't make a difference. It was just the droning noise of the up and down and the shifts. And obviously, she didn't care. So she would just fall asleep.
Babies are really into like the white noise sound.
She has
it could work for all of us.
She has a little aquarium on the side of her crib now, too, where now she's sleeping 12 hours a night. She'll wake up in the middle of the night, and before we even get in there, she'll roll over, smack the aquarium, turn the music back on, and then roll over and fall back asleep before we can even get in there.
I need to get this thing.
Yeah,
like she plays classical music in a lullaby tone. It's awesome.
All right, thanks, man. Here's Chris in PA. Chris.
Hey, how you doing? The reason why the Coast Guard's not getting paid tomorrow is because the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine Corps are part of the Department of Defense. The Coast Guard is part of the Department of the Interior. They normally, the Department of the Interior normally treats them the same in terms of pay increases and things like that. But that's why the Coast Guard's not going to get paid, and the other branches of service are. I used to be an Army officer.
And it's always been that way?
Yeah, it's always been that way.
I never knew that. Now, who's going to pay Space Force? What are they going to be?
Yeah, Space Mother.
I was an Army officer. I tell you what, I would have joined Space Force. That sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, I know it does. It sounds like a blast. I wish they'd spend a lot of time designing those uniforms too.
Yeah, those
got to be
good.
have got to be killer.
And the women's have to be sexy as hell.
Sure. And any of the green people. Every time I turn around, they'll say that there's some UFO or we're picking up something from outer space. And I get fucking excited every single time.
I love it.
I'm dying for something to land here.
Something's out there.
Yeah.
You kind of picked up radio signals from like twice from the same spot.
Yeah, they were picking it up from Toronto. Was Our Lady Peace. I wonder why. Did you send that thing over, Earl?
Yes.
When's it going up? Because that's your filtered excellence.
Yes, that was my pick. That was one of my picks for the best of the filtered excellence for last year.
Good for you. Well, I got one for Gail, one for me, and I'm just I'll have that the rest of my life.
Yeah, you can pick it up through HelenCrimmins.com.
HelenCrimmins.com. Did we tweet out that?
Yes.
Good. You're on top of this internet thing, Earl. You're top with filtered excellence. This is a column that, Earl, how many years have you been doing this now? 17?
Almost 8 years now.
And it's, Earl is just every week picks up something that in the middle of all the stuff you can find, his picks. Like today, here's something I did. There was a thing that they're doing now on punk at the Museum of Sex in New York. And it's called Punk Lust. And I think it was like 1971. I don't know what it is, but I think it's just fucking hot punk bands. I don't know. But it's so hard to follow everything. Yeah. There's a fucking Warhol thing in the city right now. I haven't been to it yet.
At the Whitney.
Yeah.
The Warhol thing's at the Whitney. What you're talking about at the Museum of Sex is punk fashion and punk.
Yeah.
And how it relates to sex and how it was basically part of all of the expression.
Did you go to it?
Have not gone to it yet.
Yeah, you might enjoy that.
I know. I really want to go to it. And I've never been to the Museum of Sex, which I hear is really fun.
You see really old dildos. I mean, like fucking dildos that are made out of rock.
Painful.
That's what the thing. People are always like, sex robots are coming. What would you call a dildo? Fucking battery operated. It's a robot. We've already lost this.
It just doesn't compliment
me. All right, let's give us some things from this week's. And when does it go up, bro?
It is up now on the Terabang.
All right, so give us some of your things, and the rest of us will decide whether we're interested or not.
Premiering on Sunday, eagerly awaited season 3 of True Detective, starring...
I did not know that was Sunday.
Yeah, I did not know we were back.
I can never say his name correctly. Mahershala Ali is in the lead role. He's playing Wayne Hayes.
It's Muhammad Ali.
and he's playing an Arkansas detective investigating a...
kids are missing.
Yeah, a missing kids case and slash murder. And it takes place over 35 years.
It was a slash murder?
I don't think if it's a slash murder. But they're saying this is kind of return of the roots of the more of season 1, more like season 1 than as opposed to season 2.
I know. I'm one of those people. I like season 2.
I like a lot of season 2.
Yeah. And I love that girl in season 2.
Rachel McAdams?
Yes. I like her. I thought Vince Vaughn was great. I thought it was the best thing Vince Vaughn did in a long time.
Colin Farrell was really good.
Love Slappy White when he came in. I wasn't even expecting it. And then, he had a couple poems that were like funny poems, like not the boring kind we had to learn in school, but like a funny poem. All right, so I'm going to give it a try, even though it's my worst subject matter ever.
They're saying it's returning more to the roots of season 1. It's very Southern Gothic.
Please tell me Reggie Ledoux is back.
I don't know. He's
shirtless.
And Stephen Dorff plays his partner.
I'm in.
Nice.
Didn't somebody say, oh, that was your man crush?
Yeah, if I had to be with a dude, it'd be Stephen Dorff. So I'm definitely in. I mean, I like True Detective. I like both seasons.
Are you the top or bottom?
I would like to be the top.
You're not going to be.
I give him a reach around, too, Like,
it's too much
He thinks bluntness is funny.
It's too much detail.
Yeah, the other one this weekend in L.A., actually Saturday at the Egyptian Theater, they're going to have a Shyamalan-a-thon. And it's going to basically be the 3 M. Night Shyamalan films, Unbreakable, Split, and
the new one.
The new one, Glass. You get a sneak preview of the new film, Glass. They're going to have a marathon. They're going to show them back to back to back.
So every one of these is named after the lead character, I guess, huh?
Yeah, but... each character has their own spot feature film, and it's going to be back to back to back and
to back.
And I believe the best part is if you RSVP, your tickets are free.
Really?
So if you're in the
so if I got another 7,
if you go to American Cinematheque.
Since it's back to back to back, I'm going to go with James Toback, and I'm going to wear. Believe me, 2 pairs of underpants with that guy. That's how I protect myself from molestation. I wear so many underpants that I can't even feel what they're
like they grab, but you're just like, I can't even feel that, so that means nothing to me.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Grab away.
Just pad your boobs, pad your butt, pad everything up.
Pat it.
If you go to American Cinematheque calendar.com. You can find out more information about the Shyamalan-a-thon.
Shamalama ding dong. Azuma ma oh 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 oh.
Otis, my man.
That is why. That's my favorite thing when he yells Otis, my man. Everyone just looks at him like he's a fucking dick.
And my pick of the week of all of it.
Earl, I didn't know. You have your own featured excellence of your featured excellence.
My is The Prophet Speaks by
Great
Van Morrison, his 40th studio album.
Wow.
It's an incredible record.
He's great, man. He puts out these albums that don't get any airplay, and you turn it on, and there's just fucking amazing songs. Amazing songs.
Yeah, and it's just him and a small combo. They cut. You can feel like you hear it's cut live because they're just going
combo
back.
short for combination.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So he has a small. It's basically almost like a jazz organ.
Little People.
No, not that.
I have a very small drummer.
And it's great. It's just like swing. It has blues. It has great covers on it.
What covers?
He covers Dimples by John Lee Hooker. Got to Get You Off My Mind by Solomon Burke. He covers Willie Dixon. I Love the Life I Live.
Good for you, Van.
Sam Cooke, Laughing and Clowning. And
he goes deep with his covers.
He does. He does.
No, he's a fan. He will go chapter and verse on.
But he's not going for the crowd pleasers. I like that.
No. Matter of fact, he'll turn his back to the crowd.
He's like, I please myself, not the crowd.
Yeah, I'm jerking off.
That's how I do.
So there's like 6 covers and 6 originals. Got to get the new song. Got to Go Where the Love Is amazing. It's fantastic.
All right, let's take a listen to this song. That's very nice, Earl.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, things just swings.
Earl, all on Earl's featured excellence, filtered excellence on the iBang. It's the album here by Van Morrison, the TV show with Muhammad Ali, and it's great to see Muhammad Ali back again.
It's True Detective season 3.
What's his name?
Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala.
I could never.
This is the thing. He was the guy that Bill Murray toasted by pouring vodka on. Did you hear that story?
No, I didn't hear that story.
It's up on the iBang. Bill Murray, I don't know whether you were watching the Golden Globes.
Yes.
Yeah, he seemed like he was a little, build up. Did you find it, Chris?
Yeah, it's right here.
So they asked for a toast, and did they show the video anywhere? I know he did. Ellen, keep going down. I think
he just told the story.
Oh, he just told the story. They don't show it anywhere. Okay, shit. And also you can see who he's with there. Peter Farrelly, who's the director. The Farrelly brothers, everything's going his way.
Yeah.
Academy Awards, maybe get nominated for the Academy Award. Just won the Golden Globe. Story comes out that the Farrelly brothers, on their Dumb and Dumber and all those things, they would have a joke to call you. When you looked over, they'd have their dicks hanging out. This is something that went on for like 25 years or whatever, and now people are outraged. Because the old flashing bit isn't funny in 2018.
It is funny sometimes, though.
A dick is a dangerous, horrible thing. It must be
only an erect dick is dangerous.
Interesting. Maybe you could write a column for one of those.
Ladies, fear not of these mushy dicks. They mean nothing.
A friend of ours, very famous comedian, another friend of mine, went over to see them, and you're invited backstage. And when he and his wife come in, this famous comedian and the opening act were crouched on a table with their ass cheeks pulled apart, so that when they came in the room, they just saw 2 assholes. Now, when that story was told, it got laughs and oohs. And one person said, that dude's a fucking weirdo. But no one thought they were sexually exploited. Yeah. The body must not be shared. Hide the nipple, hide the nut, hide the bunghole. Hide it all. Hide all the dangerous bits.
But I think every group of friends always has maybe not always dick out, but there's usually some inappropriate ongoing gag thing.
Hanging brain was a big one where you just put your nuts on someone if they were stupid enough to fall asleep. Flathead did that to a friend of mine, and to this day, Flat has to fucking hide.
I'll tell you the one that we used to do, and I can't show you because Earl is my coworker, and it's 2019. But what we used to do is like you would have, like I would say to Earl, did I show you where the horse bit me? There's a scar there. Did I show you? No. And then you go like this, and as he's looking like this, you go for a little tickle.
Yeah.
Right in the ball area. Give a nice little tickle.
A buddy of mine in college, if you were sitting down at a party in a chair, he would go up behind you and then take his balls out and put them on your shoulder. So that's
hanging brain.
Yeah, hanging brain.
Okay,
Same idea.
Yeah. You're a little more blunt with stuff.
So this dude is still hiding from it because he's still mad?
Oh, yeah. And this guy is a fucking killer.
Oh, okay. That's a reason to hide.
This is the fucking toughest guy I ever saw in my life. And I was actually in a conversation. This is a guy I grew up with. I don't want to say his name, but he was at that thing I was at. But remember when I think I went and did O&A, or it was just O at the time, and Mike Tyson came in? I think it was either during the break or after the thing. I said, hey, I grew up with a guy that could knock you out. And he was like, "What is he, a fighter?" I go, "No, just a regular guy I know." I go, "He could knock you out." And it went on for like a minute or two, and then I started to notice, okay, I guess and I remember I had to say to Mike Tyson, I didn't say I could knock you out. I said, I know a guy that can knock you out, Smitty. Let's not personalize this. Whatever happens between me and you has nothing to do with whether or not this guy can knock you out.
I might get a little testy there.
I might get, you know, when I got into, it's like if you would say to Bill Burr, I know a guy who's funnier than you. He works at the mail. He might not take it so well. You know what I mean? I think people do that all the time. Like, I work with someone who's hilarious. Chris can't get over the fact that he just gave the fucking technical term for hanging brain and feels like he was going to give us something new. And instead, he just repeated a fact. All right, that's the Filtered Excellence up on the iBank.
Yes, and it's up every week. And
yeah, I mean, we're done now. Earl. Does it get re-described? I was just throwing that, and as Bennington, we're on our way. I want to hear. Oh, I type it down, and I get it just the way I want it. I hit send.
I was going to tease a little bit for next week's excellence.
Oh, well, go ahead and tease away then.
Give it a teaser.
You know what I mean?
Grace, it's a teaser.
I don't have to throw out the break. What's coming next week?
Big film, major film.
That's
we
the
don't
tease?
know about
Star Wars?
Another Avengers?
You don't have a tease, do you? Just admit that you don't have a tease.
Actually, a great punk rock album. Great punk album.
What's the film, Earl? What's the film?
I was going to say the Glass, but
you did it this week. That doesn't need a tease.
No, I'm just saying, but Glass is going to have official rollout.
You said you had a tease. You were already plugged. We were throwing at the break. We were done.
Is episode 2 a True Detective on next week too?
You know what the next fucking True Detective should be? Hey, Tony, we gotta solve this crime. Somebody stole the cannolis. And all for you? It looks like the spider got stuck in his own web. That's Web of Lies. Why would we have the whole thing playing? Bennington.
Faction Talk 103. It's the Bennington Show.
Upgrade to Dish. Take your home TV anywhere, no matter where you are. With the Dish Anywhere app, you can stream live satellite TV, watch everything on your DVR, and choose from thousands of on-demand movies on the go.
Enjoy your favorite shows and the most popular movies with your phone, tablet, or computer, even if you aren't able to be in the comfort of your own home. Upgrade to Dish for better technology, better customer service, and a better TV experience.
The Dish Anywhere app. Just one more reason Dish stays tuned into you. Watching TV anywhere requires internet-connected Hopper with Sling or Hopper 3 and compatible device.
To learn more, dial 1-844-CALL-DISH or visit dish.com. Dish, tuned into you.
We'll be right back. This is Faction Talk 103, The Bennington Show.
What most people don't realize about working in radio is that it is hungry work. I mean it. And you know, cooking can seem like a chore, but that's where HelloFresh comes in.
They take the guesswork out of cooking by offering a wide-ranging menu with classics that we know and love, like Chipotle steak or gorgeous greens farro bowl, to recipes you may not be familiar with, courtesy of their gourmet menu for just $6.99 per serving.
And they deliver it all to your doorstep, pre-measured. All you have to do is follow the recipe. It could not be easier. That's what makes HelloFresh America's #1 meal kit.
And for a total of $80 off, that's $20 off your first 4 boxes. Visit HelloFresh.com/Bennington and enter Bennington80. That's HelloFresh.com/Bennington.
Bennington is back, and did you get yourself a brand new Bennington t-shirt yet? It's available at the iBakeShop.com. Get it! Faction Talk 103. It's the Bennington Show.
Bennington Show, Thursday. Sneak peek, tomorrow's Friday.
Don't spoil it for me.
And Friday is when the eagle flies. And this week, Eagles flying again on Sunday. Earl, did that thing go up on the Instagram?
Yes, it did.
That's the picture, the bulk. And I thought it was just going to be pictures and stuff. It's Helen Crimmins last year, Barry Crimmins' life. But you can also go to that website and just buy some pics of Barry. That's what I'm gonna do next. Also, the Christy Cello video of her. I didn't even realize this happened at the time. Chris shot her hearing her song Christy Cello and how excited that she got.
We're just mad about Christy. Her show is It's Christy, bitch. Christy's mad about Jesus. She's holy and she's horny. They call her Christy Cello. Quite rightly. They call her Christy Cello. Quite rightly. They call her Christy Cello.
By the way, she did comment on the Instagram and said, "The best day of my life."
Oh, she is so sweet. Gorgeous girl, too. Just
I know,
gorgeous.
she's a doll. She's a living doll.
She's like...
She's a sex doll, really.
Yeah, she's like if a sex doll sang and told funny jokes.
And was holy and horny.
Is she back?
No, it's me.
So weird. That's exactly what she sounds like. I just saw this for a second. I was watching Fox News, but Trump is down at the southern border, and he just tackled a guy trying to cross the border. He hit him very, very low. Shoestrings. It was a beautiful old school tackle. Nowadays, you know what I mean? Nowadays, like, oh, throw a flag down. I'm sorry, take the legs out from underneath people. So that was exciting to see.
He really is serious about border security.
We all are, Chris.
Yeah, it's true.
And every president has said they wanted a giant wall. And now no wall is impenetrable. That's what he said today. And he goes, I didn't actually say Mexico was going to pay for the wall. I didn't mean it that way.
You did say it, though, Trump.
Now, we were talking about, is it Jeff Bezos or Bezos?
Bezos.
Bezos.
I say Bezos.
I say Bezos.
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 Let's call this marriage off. So this seriously dumb fuck has no prenup. This woman could be worth $89 million or something like billion dollars. And hey, I'm sorry, Jeff. There would have been plenty of times for you to go back and go, honey, the company has asked me that, you know.
Yeah. You could have asked for some sort of a midnup.
Right.
And go, look, we didn't realize things were going to take off this way.
This is too big.
Let me get you a midnup.
And if you would have said to her then, hey, I'll give you $5 billion, she'd be like, what? $5 billion? Where do I fucking sign? Where do I sign?
I'll divorce you right now for the $5 billion.
Did you see? So fuck him and fuck his company. I hope it all goes to shit. I got nothing for this guy. But did you see the boat that Jerry Jones bought?
No, I didn't.
It's larger than a football field. There's two
oh my God.
helicopter pads on it. He's like 79 years old.
He's like a Bond villain. He doesn't need this fucking thing.
Nobody needs anything like this.
$350 million this cost. I think it's got to have like 35 people on it at all times. And I was like, well, you know, if you got the money, rent that thing. How many times a year are you taking that boat out? You live in the middle of Texas.
Landlocked, man.
That thing is insane.
It's literally a cruise ship. I've been on a cruise ship that was about the same size.
So he needs a crew of 35 just to man the ship if he wants to.
And that's at all times. When you're sleeping, they're there. When you're watching the game, they're there. You're paying them all the fucking time.
And he's got to keep it docked and shit, right? And just maintained constantly.
Yes. You can't
You
just
can just
stay at
chill.
sea. Look at the size of that. And look at the shitty boats around him. He's around oil tankers. What a view you have.
What a crazy old bastard. At this age. It was just fucking... There's other
Then
things...
you're just saying you don't want your kids and grandkids to have money. That you're doing it on purpose.
$350 million.
He bought that team when like 89, 90.
Yeah. He bought it and promptly fired everyone. So
he bought that team for $125 million. And that boat, he just paid $350 for. They say that the Cowboys are worth $5 billion now.
Yeah, I think that's the most expensive franchise.
How about this? Take that $350 million and work on people's brain fucking stuff that they got from playing your game.
No, that doesn't.
My brain's fucked up, Jerry.
CTE.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you over this giant boat.
Seriously, I get like, hey, I got some money, I want to treat myself. Get a jet ski. Get just something fun for yourself. What are you going to do with this
There's
thing?
no helipad on a jet ski. Yeah, it's barely a...
Why would you need that many? Look at the amount of floors. Like, how many rooms? How many people does this sleep?
Gotta be at least 60. If the crew's 35.
No, it's 12.
It's 12?
Yeah, I think it sleeps 12.
It's ridiculous. Where's the crew going to sleep?
Look it up. It's the fucking information is there. It doesn't sleep 60.
That's insane.
And this is going to be what? For the players? For Jerry?
No,
to
just
break
for
deals?
Jerry. He ain't taking the fucking players out there. One of them falls off the boat. That's it. They're gone.
14 people it holds.
14?
That's ridiculous.
Half the crew size, you're telling me.
Fat people.
Like, how much room do they have?
Jerry's
if it's like a
fat friends.
football field.
Yeah, but I'm looking at it like, if you want to sign like the hot free agent, hey, let's go on the yacht. Let's go. You know what I mean?
All you got to do is bring them to your stadium and offer them money.
And why would the yacht impress them? It's not their yacht.
Right.
And
So
they're
you're
going to be...
telling me you have this yacht? Yup.
Then let me catch football for you.
First you offered me the money, and I was like, oh, I don't know. is this guy serious? Then I saw this huge fucking yacht, and I was convinced.
This is the franchise for me.
I can't turn this down. Have you seen his fucking yacht?
And Jerry said, I'll be playing yacht rock all year. I mean, how many weeks a year you think he's going to spend on that?
2. If that, if that, man.
I think you're right. I think 2 weeks is about right.
Because if you're not used to it, how sick are you out at sea for...
Yeah, we don't know if he has his sea legs or whatever. He's an old dude.
And what's the point of the helipads?
You know, if he wants to, just fucking.
You're
go
like,
someplace else
fuck
from his
this
yacht.
ship. I'm done.
Oh, man. I don't want to get off anytime. Look at the size of that fucking boat.
No one should own a boat big enough to need its own fucking radar. Like, you see the thing throwing on the top of it? Yeah.
Little boats have radars too, Chris.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do.
Smart thing to do when you're out there in the open sea.
Shit about boats or radar.
You might want to know when the storm's coming in.
I mean, I feel like Quinn's boat had radar.
Yeah, it did. That is insane, though, right?
That's fucking weird, man.
You should have just got the boat from Thunder in Paradise. That would have been a lot cooler.
Oh my God. That I'd pay top dollar for.
I'm sorry, guys. It's dry docked. You know that they shot that at Disney, so they were just on a pond driving around.
I believe that they were out at sea.
Yeah, they weren't.
I watched a lot of that show on TBS or whatever it was.
I always liked it when like another wrestler would guest star.
I think Sting was a
Sting.
running bad guy in the show. It was like Hulk Hogan's nemesis in the, I don't know what, I guess he was a private detective with his boat solving fucking beach mysteries.
So many mysteries on this beach.
And Sting was from his past. I really loved it because he didn't have any makeup on, so it was a real big thrill for me as a little kid.
Oh, makeup list. Sting?
Yeah, makeup list.
Kind of weird to see him without it.
It was very exciting, though.
Eric in New York.
Hey, Ron.
Yeah.
What do you think it costs to fill the tank on that thing?
It's really fucking expensive. You know, Trump had some big boat back in the 80s and had to get rid of it for that very reason. It was like, you take the fucking thing out. It's tens of thousands of dollars.
That's no one.
No way. You've said that a couple of times. Just been upset about the size. Kyle in California. Kyle.
Oh, thanks for the lead in there.
You're welcome.
That was a really great moment to share with you guys. That was good.
I'm glad you're here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thanks. I live on a boat in Southern California, and there's a dude who has the world's largest sports fisher like right around the corner from mine, and there's always people working on it. It's always being cleaned and maintained, and I've never seen him take it out, it move, nothing. It's 150 feet. Insane. There's a bunch of those types of boats.
So let's think of the one that you saw. This is over twice that size. And then, and Kyle's 100% right. I mean, you're just constantly just beating nature back from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's exactly. I have buddies who that's their full-time job is just to take care of some rich dude's boat. You know?
It's true because there isn't even supposed to be such a thing as a boat. You know what I mean? Like things aren't supposed to float around the ocean.
Yeah, that's what we do. We just float around and hope that God doesn't hate us all and wipe us all out at any time, dude. Anytime. Yeah,
it's true.
It's nuts.
All right, brother. Good talking to you. Peace.
All right, dudes. You guys be good.
You know, just say the statement, though, I live on a boat. It changes everything for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But people are like, where do you live? Well, I live on a boat out in the marina. You're like, what? You're fucking interesting. You're an interesting person. But if you said, oh, where do you live? Oh, I live in my car. Oh, dirt ball. Dirt ball.
Are you okay?
Have you killed people? So all we're saying, Jeff Bezos could have fucking 50 of these. and 25 of them would belong to his chick. You know, yesterday when you were saying she should get half, Gail, I'm like, you got to worry about the company. But now I'm like, well, if he doesn't fucking care about the company, I don't. Got that fucker. Got him. So stupid, right? So stupid.
You're the richest man in the world. Like, he's been the richest man in the world.
This will drop him down to fourth.
Wow.
He'll drop from first to fourth.
Embarrassing.
Yeah.
And she'll be tied with him for fourth?
She'll be tied. Now, 2 weeks later, he's going to have more money. You know what I mean? Because he'll still, I guess, have Amazon. She'll be tied. Well, it's like if you do like the top 10 people for money in this family, 4 of them are like Walmart kids.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you put all the Walmart money together, they probably are fucking Bezos boy. And they got hurt by him. Amazon has hurt Walmart. And people are, oh, you got to go?
Yeah, I've got to. I simply must pump. You know I must.
Every day she's got a... I don't think he knows what he means when he says short. Hey, G-Man.
Hi, buddies.
Yeah.
Ron, what do you think? Does Jerry Jones go full Rodney Dangerfield? Does he put on the captain's hat and the air horn and all that?
He's always kind of lived his life like he was Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, but he definitely has to just be.
I hate the Cowboys because I was raised that way, but I think it was Prime does like a season with the Cowboys, and I'm just like, fuck, that looks like fun, man. Like their practice thing is like $1 billion where they fucking practice everything about them bigger than life. And now he gets this boat. He doesn't give a shit. Bart, North Carolina.
Hey, Benningtons, how are you guys?
Cool, man.
Hey, one of the things that always blows my mind is when you're looking at a boat or an airplane or a helicopter, the 10% rule is something you got to keep in mind. So whatever you purchase the thing for, it's going to cost you on average 10% a year to keep that thing up. So nothing like a $35 million a year expense for the boat.
Yeah, I mean, even if he rents this out, he's just never going to come close to what and again, all right, let's suppose he just took $35 million a year and blew that on vacations. You know what I mean?
Be much better.
Yeah.
Right. How would you like to be a player that's getting a contract renegotiation? Like, yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to do that this year. Hang on a minute. I got to write this check for $35 million.
They're getting a timeshare on the boat. They're just going to get a piece of it.
It's really fucking, it really is baffling.
Yeah. I read some article about him, and he was talking. It was some interview where he was talking about his money, and I was surprised about the vast majority of everything of all of his money is the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I thought like he had his hand in a bunch of different things.
No.
But he's just Cowboys.
Just Cowboys.
That shocked me because I really thought
He was in the oil business, and he had to get loans to get the Cowboys.
Wow.
And people thought he was crazy to spend the $100 and whatever it was $1 million. And he took that to $5 billion. And just because people love the Dallas Cowboys. They're America's team.
And he's got won 2 Super Bowls with them? Or 3? Yeah. And jacking shit since then.
But they don't love the Cowboys because of the Super Bowls. People just love the Cowboys.
Yeah, I know. I have plenty of friends who grew up raised in Brooklyn, and they love the Cowboys. And it's not like their dads were Cowboy fans.
There's a star on the side of the helmet, dude.
Yeah. Well, then be a Raiders fan. That's a lot cooler.
There are Raiders fans for the very same reason, but that Raiders logo is pretty homoerotic in my opinion. Like the black and silver is cool, but the fucking pirate fucking leaning over, ready to take one in the ass. I don't know.
I owned a Raiders a jacket that I would sleep in when I was a little kid.
Like an alcoholic. Hey, Jeff, what's up?
What's up, Ron? One of the richest men I knew back growing up gave me the advice that if it floats, flies, or fucks, you just need to rent it. Don't ever buy nothing.
At least get a prenup. For
It
the last
is, yeah. Get a prenup from your plane, too. Look, I understand private planes. I do. I get it. Because I've been on it before. And I'm like, this is fucking way better.
Seems amazing.
You're not going into the airport. That alone is fantastic.
You go on tarmac, right?
You go straight to the tarmac.
God, that must
Car
feel
takes
good.
you out. You fucking walk up. You get into the plane. They pull it up right there, and you're ready to take off. There's no fucking around.
Is there TSA?
No. So you can take a fucking gun on there. You can smoke weed, whatever you want to do.
Sounds like paradise.
It is. I'm not gonna lie to you, Chris. It's like being in heaven itself with Jesus. Jesus definitely flies private, so I get it. But then, how often do you fly? You better make sure you fly a lot.
Yeah.
But the guy that I was with, we flew, and then the pilots turned around to fly back to get his dog and his fishing gear.
So they flew the dog back just empty on the plane, just with just the dog? Oh.
Yeah.
I guess you can do that because it's your plane.
Yeah. And he had a house in Trump's neighborhood, Palm Beach. It's a whole different way to live than you grew up, Chrissy.
Yeah, I don't understand that, Ron.
Different way.
I'm just from Queens, New York. I've never even flown first class or business for that matter.
And this guy had a fucking kid that was like fucking moron.
I guess I'd be a moron too if I just grew up fucking flying private with fucking billions of dollars or whatever.
I lit himself up over a fucking peeler. The fucking stripper wouldn't return his calls. Yeah, you don't escape life. No amount of money escapes life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something will fucking be thrown into your life. You'll be sitting there in your giant fucking Jerry Jones boat, and I guarantee you, he'll be fucking sitting there drinking scotch. You just fucking look out at the sea and go, "Fuck, I ruined my life," and just chuck a fucking glass over the head.
Especially when they lose this week.
Oh, it's a pretty good team this year. Pretty good fucking defense. I'm always going to root against them. But I don't know if I'd bet against them.
I think the line is 4. Cowboys +4.
Did you bet with them or against them?
I bet against them.
I think Hard Rock Johnny picked them to do the whole thing. But Hard Rock Johnny is like huge Cowboys fan, even though he's a Giants guy.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he cocks for the Cowboys.
Then maybe he should fucking stop talking about the Giants then.
Well, he's going to go to the Giants. That's his local team. But he idolizes the Cowboys, all that they've accomplished.
Oh, I didn't know he was such a big Dak Prescott fan.
Isn't that it's just fan? He admires him.
That's worse, Ron. There's nothing to admire there.
Chris, you don't even go to these games, and
No,
he does.
I've been.
What do you do to back up these Giants that you claim to love?
Hey, I was at the parade last time they won the Super Bowl.
Oh, who do you want to thank for that?
You, Ron Bennington. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And wasn't I right? Didn't you enjoy it?
It was fucking
now
great.
you're going to spend the rest of your life thinking about it.
Oh yeah, it was a wonderful. I'm gonna guess early afternoon. Or no, it was the morning. I think I was there at 6 a.m.
You're going to tell your grandpa. You're going to tell your grandchildren one day. Grandpa used to live in New York, and I went to see American football. It's like our football, except for they tackle each other.
Little Jose.
That'd be so cute if you named them Little Jose. What's your girlfriend doing?
She's good.
Sex still at the same thing as when you guys started?
We're enjoying ourselves, Ron. I'll tell you that.
At the same pace, though, or is it starting to fall off?
It's still at the same pace.
That's gross. Unless you start it really slow. Michael Cohen to testify before Congress. That'd be fucking hilarious. I love his accent. He's like somebody who grew up next to fucking Chris.
Yeah, it's great.
Manafort's basically the same way, too.
You haven't heard much about Manafort lately.
Then you don't watch or read the news. He fucking, his thing.
Is he?
That his lawyers did not redact and all this shit showed up online. It's been the biggest story for the last 3 days.
I got the Bezos thing that's taking up all my time. Bezos, excuse me.
All right. Is this on the I Bang the Snopes thing?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
Did a 1950s TV episode feature a character named Trump who offered to build a protective wall? I got to get to the bottom of that if anybody knows. Ooh, 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 ooh. Best thing in video is seeing Earl's head in the screen Chris has. What are the and Vito by the door like a henchman?
He did look like a Eastern European goon. Oh, that on the video of Chrissy Cello, I got in the shot.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Let me see. Turn it up. Where are you at?
I'm right here, and Earl's the bottom left corner on that screen.
Oh, you can see the screens?
Yeah.
Yes. She's so fucking cute.
She's great. Her face when she hears cello.
This says Vito stays lurking. And then Rebel says she was so annoying. Oh, what an awful thing to say. Can you block people on the...
I'm not sure if you
IG?
can block on Instagram.
Really? Then I'm going to start harassing people. Can you block on Instagram, Earl?
Yeah, you can block.
All right.
I bring some of the things out so we can read some of this stuff. How unsettled is Vito until she pulls the mic to get her face? For a second, Vito is looking very awkward. Prefer the Joe List song. Why do you even have to fucking...
First of all, Joe List wasn't coming in studio.
He wasn't?
At that time, no.
No, they say they like the song Joe List.
Oh, okay.
Not to play the Joe List song when she comes in. Sometimes I think you're a goddamn maniac.
I think I am too.
All right, so I don't know. Do we have any video that we can watch of this supposedly Trump thing? And why do people selling it in a tour?
I'm looking for it. I found the Snopes article. It was a Western TV series called Trackdown, and the oil salesman was named Trump. That's the claim.
Well, I never even met another Trump or heard the name before, Donald Trump.
No. I figured he was the last Trump.
I mean, even what is that name? I think he's Scottish, or he's Scottish on his mother's side.
Yeah, he's Scottish.
But Trump isn't a Scottish name. Or the Trumps. I've never even heard it before.
This is audio of that show Trackdown.
Let me hear it.
I am the only one. Trust me. I can build a wall around your homes that nothing will penetrate. What do we do? How do we save ourselves? You ask, how do you build that wall? You ask, and I'm here to tell you.
That's weird, right?
That's really creepy. Never even heard of this TV show.
That was 60 years ago, Chris. You weren't around.
I mean, it looks pretty good, though.
Well, it's not bad.
I mean, I like
it's
a
got
Western.
cowboys in it. Anything that has cowboys, I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it. What are they doing? Going after a horse thief? Or whose side am I on? The horse thieves? Just tell me. I can be with the good guys, the bad guys that don't bother me. Do you know how many fucking cowboys were black, Earl?
A lot.
Yeah. Like a third of cowboys were black. And yet you never see black people in cowboy movies.
No. You're lucky if you see a Hispanic guy. That's usually just Clint Eastwood Westerns.
Like if you see Hispanics. He actually feels lucky when he sees a Mexican in his TV show.
But I didn't know that about black cowboys. There were a lot of black cowboys.
And gold miners.
I'm not sure. Were there any black rangers? Texas Rangers?
No. There weren't even white. I mean, there weren't even black cops in fucking New York till like 5 years ago.
No,
they thought it was a big thing in the 1950s. They hired 2 Italians. And then when New York was like, this fucking town is really changing. Hey, Alan in Sacramento. What's up, buddy?
Hey, y'all. Just on that last point,
they whitewashed the Lone Ranger. He was actually a black guy.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Do you know that, Earl?
I did not know the Lone Ranger was a black guy.
Yeah. Johnny Depp.
Yeah. Google that up.
Yeah,
Hey,
Google that shit,
talking about,
Earl.
talking about fishing boats, check out Paul Allen's Octopus.
Oh, I've seen that too, and that's what I mean, he died, and like, who's he going to sell who's his family going to sell the boat to? Not even fucking Jerry Jones, but it's a brand new one. No one wants somebody's old boat, you know.
I think Paul Allen's had a submarine on it, so that's pretty cool. I don't know if it had a helipad.
Wouldn't you be nervous to go down one of those little fucking submarines, though?
Fuck that shit.
Yeah,
I would never.
I'd rather scuba down there than fucking be in there.
And the pressure, so because that thing goes so deep, the pressure. I feel like it's like it's a tin can. You'll just be crushed to death.
James in Utah.
Yeah. A couple years ago, I heard something about the Trump name, and I heard like his great grandfather changed their name. Their original spelling was DRUMPF. And if you like just Google Trump's ancestor's name, it talks about how they changed it. So there wasn't actually a Trump. There was Drumpf.
Oh, so that's why I don't see other Trumps.
Yep, exactly.
All right, that's interesting. Thanks. Peace. I'll tell you the truth. I've never met another Bennington in my life.
Never?
Never met somebody else who said my name is Bennington too. And I know there's Benningtons all over the place. I just never met them. I never had a Bennington relative because Whiskey Bob took off on my dad when he was a baby. Shannon, what's up?
Say, if you guys are talking about that Trump TV show thing, have you seen the book from the late 1890s where a Baron Trump becomes the last president? I believe that's the title of the book. I heard a conspiracy thing. You guys were going off on it a while back.
All right, let's see if we can find this. 1890s. And there weren't even a lot of novels in the 1890s.
I think the author's name was Ingersoll Lockwood.
All right, it's on Snopes. So it's Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey.
Is that a real book or not? Find out from the Snopes. They should say it right at the top whether it is or not.
It is mostly true, is what they're saying.
Mostly true. The Baron Trump part?
Yeah, that's true.
I wonder if Trump named his son Baron for that very reason.
I bet.
I mean, he's an educated guy. He went to the Wharton School of fucking Business like I did.
He has a university. How can you have a university?
No, not anymore.
Oh.
He had to pay money for that. There was a thing on fucking TV about that. You didn't know that?
No, I thought he still had it.
He had to pay out like 25 mil. Basically, the whole university was buy low, sell high.
We found that info on the Black Lone Ranger.
What about it?
His name was Bass Reeves. He was a deputy U.S. Marshal for over 30 years, patrolling the Western Territories, hauling in outlaws of every stripe and race, and would hand out silver dollars.
See?
Instead of silver bullets.
Now, what was his name? Bass Reeves?
Bass Reeves.
And his great-granddaughter? Martha Reeves.
Oh.
Yeah. So it all comes fucking full circle here in the Old West, guys. Don't even worry about that. Earl, who was the black guy that you looked up to? Because there are people like, oh, there's never a black superhero, so that's why Black Panther's so great. Did you have somebody that you looked up to when you were a kid? Who was it? Joe Namath?
For me, I did love Broadway Joe.
Was it Weave Eubank?
For me, not Weave Eubank. For me, it was Reggie Jackson. To me, he was Ali with a baseball bat.
That's sad to hear. That'd be like Ali beating someone to death.
3 home runs.
Who was your first black hero, Chris?
Let me think.
Because mine probably was Ali.
Sinbad, maybe? Because I did watch that show a lot. I like
the
Sinbad.
TV show Sinbad?
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious that would be your idol.
I loved him as a kid.
And you love him now. Why do you act like you're different?
I shouldn't. You're right.
Hey, JT, what's up?
One Mr. Glover played a black cowboy in Lonesome Dove. And
everyone has always told me, watch Lonesome Dove, I've tried to watch it twice now.
Never seen it.
It's like fucking watching paint dry. People will say this is the greatest
Diane
western of all
Lane's in
time. The acting is terrible and the fucking cinematography is bad.
Is that a TV movie?
It was a TV miniseries, like a 80s miniseries. And people are like, why don't you watch Lonesome Dove? I try to turn it on. I'm like, I can't believe how bad this is.
I didn't want to watch it because I thought Lonesome Dove was kind of a pussy name for a Western.
Well, the dove didn't have any friends. I mean, that stayed that way through it.
So do you watch the one with Duvall, or do you watch the one with, because there was two, they had that one and the sequel.
Yeah, and the other one had Bret Hart in it. The sequel had Bret Hart.
What?
Yeah.
He was acting?
Yeah.
That's worth watching, I guess.
Yeah. Back when he still had the long, greasy hair. He was the only cowboy with really long, wet hair.
They're the same shades, too.
Oh, yeah. Those shades were like futuristic shades. No, of course I watched the one with Robert Duvall.
I ever watched it. The first 2 episodes drag forever. I thought it took off like the last couple of parts. And then the ending was just very anticlimactic. Because, without giving anything away. It's basically just a long march to a burial.
Close.
Early, you're sold me. I'm going to give it another try. It starts bad, goes okay, and then stinks.
It almost picks up.
Beep, 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 and then there was a parody of it called Lonesome Glove, and that was the story about that pitcher that was missing a hand, and he just
Jim Abbott.
Yeah, it was Jim Abbott. He could only wear the old Lonesome Glove.
I read a bio on him as a little kid, just like 75-page thing on him.
Of course,
it's baseball.
Russ, North Carolina.
Hey, someone let Earl know that Reggie Jackson is Puerto Rican.
I believe he is half Puerto Rican. His father was half Puerto Rican.
That makes him 1/4 Puerto Rican.
And
Reggie Martinez.
All right. Well, I'm so fucking glad this came up. So, I watched this thing. I don't know what it's Tracing Your Roots show on fucking PBS. Normally, it's as dull as shit. But they had your fucking hero, the guy who's the writer of all the fucking dragon books.
Oh, George R.R. Martin.
So he's from someplace over in fucking Jersey, like Bayonne or some shit.
Yeah, it's
place.
Bayonne, yeah.
So he's like, I could see Staten Island. I couldn't go to Staten Island. My family didn't have any money, and my grandfather was an Italian guy. Blah blah blah. So they do all the fucking blood tests on him and shit. He's like you. He's got a Jewish background, 20% Jewish. Now that's yours, right?
Yeah, 20%. Yeah.
They said to him, that's like one of your grandparents was 100% Jewish.
Wow.
So then this made me think, we always said, why weren't you told? Right?
Yeah.
But in his case, his grandfather wasn't his grandfather, wasn't his blood relative. So in your case, we've assumed somebody was lying.
Yeah.
But one of your grandparents, obviously a grandfather, one of your 2 grandfathers, is not the actual grandfather.
That is fucking crazy, man. I mean, I never met either of them, but I would think it would be my mother's side.
Why would you think that?
Because my mother never talked a lot about her father, but she said that he was British. Like, how the fuck?
Right, but she could have not even known the truth. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And also, by the way, you can be British and 100% Jewish. That's the thing. I think the only people, maybe I'm wrong about this. It doesn't matter where they live. They're, the Jews, you could be from Poland.
Yeah.
Or whatever, Russia, it doesn't matter. Since your people aren't mixing, you stay Jewish. And I think the same is true of gypsies.
They don't
mix. They live all different places, but they don't mix with those people, not by tradition.
I'm also like 30% or something Baltic, which is like gypsies, which is like that's where gypsies basically are from.
Gypsies, champs, and thieves, you hear from the people of the town. So, if we hired somebody like this guy, we'd be able to do something. Now, the Lonely Island guy who's now in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Andy Samberg.
He's on there. He fucking says, look, I'm only doing this for one reason. I want to find out who my mom's parents were. She's adopted. She's tried her whole fucking life. Never any fucking thing, right? So they start to go to work on this. They figured out who her ma was. And then they figured out who their dad was, even though she was put up for divorce. They figured out both. They traced it back to this family in fucking San Francisco. And said, we believe that this Andy Samberg and his mom, particularly his mom, shares blood with you guys. They're Sicilians. They're Italians living in this country, living in the Bay Area. They go, yeah, we don't, I got no hard feelings. I would love to be fucking married to Andy, be in the same family as Andy Samberg. They start to root through the grandfather. Great guy. Everybody loved him. His World War II stuff. They find him on a date, a woman they had never seen before in their lives, not their grandmother. And it was the woman that they traced Andy Samberg's fucking DNA to. They find a fucking picture. And these Italians are just like, come on over. Hey, new family, new fam. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, there's no hard feelings, no nothing. But both these people are gone. And here these other people now are celebrating their background. This is why my mom would never let me go on a show like that. She doesn't believe in it. She goes, let people have their secrets.
Just the job of tracing all that seems so incredibly hard because I used like Ancestry once and like I could find one thing with my parents and that's it. Like there was nothing else. Like maybe I found like a copy of a marriage certificate.
Yeah, but that don't mean that they can't. They can fucking trace when your people came over in the fucking Nina Pinta and the Santa Maria. Here was the thing I told you, I never met a Bennington, right? Well, my dad has done this stupid stuff. He's traced our family back to living in this country to like the 1600s. He's always tried to tell me about it. I don't care. So he said to me one day, he goes, do you know Chester Bennington? I start laughing. I'm like, yeah, the rock star. He goes, oh, great. I was talking to his grandfather. So my dad and his grandfather were doing stuff online, trading stuff back and forth. And there was some distant thing. So I go, oh, that's fucking weird. I'll meet him sometime when he comes here and tells him, that we're distant relatives or whatever. After that happened, I'm coming back. I'm listening to Sirius XM. And I'm hearing him on somebody's show here. He's talking. I'm like, why didn't I fucking... I'm literally like, Leeds didn't let me know this guy's got a new album coming out, blah, blah, blah. And like a week or so later, he died.
Was that soon?
It was that soon from all this happening. From me hearing my dad talking crazy, me hearing the show. Maybe it was even the second time he said it. Maybe I left it off the first time. But I thought, oh, yeah, that would be interesting to say to somebody, hey, my dad talked to your grandfather. We're distant relatives. Give me $1 million.
just $1 million. He's got
one of your millions. Another reason. Look at that boy. He had every reason in the world to be happy. I mean, when you look through the number one fucking hits that they had, it's crazy.
They're
every album came out. It was huge.
Yeah, they had a crazy run.
Why, I can't tell you. I'm going to be totally honest. Now they're asking me to sing for the band. I don't know.
I mean, are you going to do
What do I know about running a restaurant? What do I know? What do I know?
I think you should do it.
Well, hey, ask him. He's in here. He's in here 5 more minutes. He could turn into a stool. Right back. God, we got a hilarious guy coming in here. Craig Gass is stopping by. He's performing at the Valley Forge Casino in King of Prussia next Friday. And he'll be at the Harbor Square Theater in Stone Harbor, New Jersey next Saturday night. What's this? Live read? Well, where's Gail for this? Still pumping?
He's still pumping.
You couldn't save it where we'd all, don't have to read the whole thing?
We could wait.
Yeah, we can wait, but what most people don't realize about working in radio is that it's hungry work. I mean it. And cooking can seem like a chore, but that's where HelloFresh comes in. They take the guesswork out of cooking by offering a wide-ranging menu with classics that we know and love, like Chipotle spiced steak or gorgeous greens farro bowl, to recipes that you might not be as familiar with, courtesy of their gourmet menu, for just $6.99 per serving. And they deliver it all to your doorstep, pre-measured, so all you have to do is follow the recipe. It could not be easier. That's what makes HelloFresh America's #1 meal kit. For a total of $80 off, that's $20 off your first 4 boxes. Visit HelloFresh.com/Bennington and enter Bennington80. That's HelloFresh.com/Bennington.
Welcome back to Bennington. Craig Gass is in studio.
Yes! Genius.
Craig's performing at Valley Forge Casino in King of Prussia, PA next Friday, January 18th. Then he'll be at Harbor Square Theater in Stone Harbor, New Jersey. The next night, Saturday, January 19th. Go to getgas.com for tickets and all Craig's dates. That's gas with 2 S's.
This is the beginning of our friendship today.
Okay, that's good.
This is day 1.
Well, I know we're seeing you at a rough time because your team just went out of the playoffs.
The Seahawks.
Yeah, and this could happen to us Eagles fans this weekend. It's a tense, exciting time of the year.
This is my favorite time of the year. I've been a Seahawks fan for over 25 years, so most of the time they haven't been in the playoffs.
Sure.
And there's nothing like, in my opinion, big, dumb guys under pressure, one and done, making career mistakes. Simple, fundamental football. They forget how to hold the football. They don't pay attention to the clock. There are things you see in playoff football that just blows your mind, of just bonehead moves, and there's nothing like it. So it's I get excited but a little sad because I know it's all going to be over quickly.
Yeah, it's all going to be done, and if you and that's when we get in what is known as hard winter, bad winter, where the people start to kill themselves right after the Super Bowl. Hunter Thompson just said he shot himself in the head, and he had left a note that said football season's over. That's what his note said. One of the great writers of all time. Didn't matter to him. He was going to be stuck.
Ron, there's questions I've been dying to ask you, and I wanted to save it for the air. I'm a big radio guy. I started in radio 26 years ago with a guy named Bob Rivers.
Oh, sure.
Twisted Radio. He would do these song parodies that actually charted. His song parodies were so popular, they actually hit the Billboard charts.
He was in Baltimore, and then where out west?
Seattle.
In Seattle.
Which is where I met him and started working from.
And he was at least in my lifetime, the first guy like, hey, we're staying on the air
until my team wins.
Yeah, shit like that. Yeah,
he the Baltimore Orioles had something like a
26-game losing streak.
And he said, I'm going to stay broadcasting on top of this billboard until they win. And it was a goofy stunt that got national attention. He ended up on Larry King.
Yeah.
When that
was a big deal.
When that was a big deal.
King, yeah. And I mean, there was even a backlash because like his kid would call him like, Daddy, I miss you. You know what I mean? People are like, you're fucking punishing your children over, you know what I mean? Like, you know how people act like they get mad about stuff.
Yeah, you got a lot of attention. And he brought me to my first radio convention. They have this thing every year called Boot Camp.
Yeah.
Where morning shows from all over the country get together and they share ideas. And it's just a lot of hostility.
Sure.
A lot of radio guys posing.
Chesting up to each other.
Yeah, and just shitting on each other. Yeah. There's one moment in that convention where all the radio guys get into a big ballroom and they go market to market. They go around the room. They say, what's a bit that worked for you this year? And everybody shares their ideas. And I remember one year it was hosted by this black guy named Griff from Atlanta. Really funny guy. A lot of attitude. And somebody stood up and said, hey, I'm so-and-so, and this is so-and-so. We're from Anchorage, Alaska. And a bit that really worked for us last year, we did a thing about Santa Claus that was really funny. And the way he described it just didn't make a lot of sense, and it didn't sound funny. And there was a pause, and this guy, Griff, goes, that's why you in Anchorage. All right, next up. And he just, and everyone's, fuck you, you suck. It's like, these are your peers, like shitting on you.
Right.
It was terrible.
Well, because anybody could lose their job, anybody could move to another market and fucking cause you to go from first to third, and there's a lot of pressure. Was always in that business without an enormous amount of talent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There wasn't.
Oh, yeah. And then I heard, I got to know all these different markets, and I remember being approached to record something for a station that you were at in Tampa. You were doing mornings in Tampa?
Yeah.
And I got asked to record, I think it was Sam Kinison liners for the station.
I think that was at 98 Rock, not at my...
At 98 Rock, and they never paid me.
Yeah, that's also radio.
I started getting to this point where all these radio shows would call me and say, "Hey, can we get you to do like celebrity voice stuff for us?" And we don't have a budget, but do you like CDs and DVDs? And I'd get boxes and boxes. I'd have hundreds of CDs every month, and I had a racket. What I'm about to say, by the way, is considered blasphemy in the radio industry. I would go to Target or Walmart once a month with a stack of CDs and DVDs and tell them a story and say, I got these for my nephew. He already has them, so I just want to return them. They go, all right, do you have a receipt? And I go, no, I don't have a receipt. And they go, okay, well, we can only give you store credit then. And I go, all right, and they give me like $200 on a Target card, and I'd get shampoo and soap and toothpaste. Like I had a whole racket going, but so I hear about this show, and by the time I start doing shows in Florida, I hear this amazing story in Orlando. I do it. A guy named Mark Szymanski used to be on the air in Orlando, and the morning show was Mark, Robin, and Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah.
And this guy, Larry the Cable Guy, is walking out in the hallway every break and doing phoners with all these stations across the South. And I really admired the guy's work ethic, because this guy would call radio stations and say, hey, you don't know me, but I do a character on the radio called Larry the Cable Guy. It's really popular, and I write material every day. I can call into your show. This is the way it was explained to me. I'll call into your show every day and do this bit. You don't have to pay me. All I want to do is come to your city and do a show sometime in the next 3 months or 6 months. And he would set up dates by calling these the clubs in Birmingham and New Orleans and all these different markets. Say, hey, you don't know me, but I'm a regular now on your rock station, and you don't have to pay me, but if you just let me work for the door, the station's going to promote it. And then he'd work for 100% of the door, and then do his bits every day, calling all these different markets across the South, hit all these markets, and do 15 to 20 grand cash, drive back home, stop calling the station. The station would call and go, hey, man, just because you did your show doesn't mean you don't have to call in anymore. Our audience loves you. And he'd say, well, you got to pay me. And it was amazing how much money Larry the Cable Guy was making back then. But this guy, Mark, told me that his whole career started with your show. Mm-hmm. Was that true?
Yeah.
And that...
Well, I knew him when he was Dan Whitney. Dan Whitney used to hang with us all the time and used to work my club.
In the club.
Yeah.
And that he started the character on your show.
Yeah.
So he started that Larry the Cable Guy character on your show and became really popular. And what Mark had said to me is that it became so popular that every day he'd call in and do a Larry the Cable Guy for president.
Right.
And he was doing this whole campaign. And that the station said, we're going to sell T-shirts.
I'll tell you the story if you want, because no one's ever brought it up before.
Okay.
But what happened? We had Fez Whatley, who was, and also Larry the Cable Guy. So they said, we'll do this bit on your show where you blah blah blah, and I'm like, I don't, it was tied in with the sandwich shop, right? And they said, we'll do this bit, and whatever, you get $1 a shirt. So I said, well, I don't want it to be fucking Ron and Ron running for fucking president. That's retarded.
Right, they were going to make up T-shirts
Yeah.
that said Larry the Cable
Yeah.
Guy for president.
Well, no, they wanted to do it with me and Ron Diaz, because it was our show.
Okay.
And these were our two kind of sidekick guys, and neither one of them was really getting paid. One wasn't getting paid much money. We're getting some. So we said, okay, doesn't matter. Run it with either one of the characters, and they split the money. That's what happened with it. So then fucking Larry, after Dan Whitney was like, I don't want to split with him, blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
even though it wasn't just one station promoting it, it was a bunch, you know?
Oh, wow.
And then he had a falling out over that.
Yeah, because...
and then he crossed the street.
In Tampa, he crossed the street?
No, because we were in multiple cities, and he crossed the street in Orlando.
Oh, wow.
And then that was the end of our friendship. And we were very good friends all the way up to that point.
And you still don't have a friendship?
No.
No shit.
No.
Wow.
Well, there was never really a reason to have a friendship after that anyway. If you're not working together, what are you going to do?
Right.
Talk about Nebraska fucking football or something?
Well, I would just think that all those years later, after your careers ended up in going down different paths, and you circle back around, especially in the position you're at where your show is comedy based, and you talk to all comedians.
Right. Well, he doesn't really tour anymore, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know where his dates are, but it was a crazy, I had no idea that it was weird because I met him as a radio guy, as a radio character, and I was like, man, this guy's making crazy money right now, and look at his work ethic. And then he went to crazy money.
Right, when he did this stuff
when he joined the Blue Collar Guys.
Right.
And but as a radio geek, I was always wanting to get into certain stations, and your station was like one of the biggest.
Yeah.
Down in Tampa that I always wanted to get into, and I could never figure it out. I remember going I recorded stuff for you guys, and I'd love to come down there and do a show. And it was I just couldn't. All comics want to do is just get on the road and be able to tour. So that was something.
But back in those days, there was always a loyalty in the market. You know what I mean? You didn't do two radio stations in the same market. That was literally the radio wars days, you know? So, because I remember we had a falling out with Bobcat that we had to patch up because he was doing my club even, I think, and stopped by the top 40 station on the way there. And there was a whole big falling out over it. But that's just the way it was. I mean, you were working book to book in those days. You didn't do, you didn't do that kind of shit.
Yeah, and the books were they every 3 months back then? Every 6 months?
Yeah, every 3 months, and you'd get a trend once a month, and people would be fucking, puking over those books. Radio stations would come and go over one fucking book. You could, everybody that would lose their job, and suddenly the radio station would be playing country if those books didn't come through.
And you're running a comedy club where a lot of comics came out of.
Right.
Tom Rhodes, Jim Brewer. Did he start in Florida?
Yeah.
And then Whitney and Carrot Tops. Daryl Hammond. Didn't Daryl Hammond
I think
start?
Daryl Hammond did the club. I think, what's his name? Steve. Who the fucking guy is that does Family Feud? Steve
Harvey.
Yeah, Steve Harvey. But I don't even think I met him. I think he came in and did. Yeah, I only found that out later from Brewer. And then of course,
Brian Regan,
John Manfrotto, Brian Regan, Jeff Garland. A lot of people, were down there. But that market was something that as soon as you get slightly good, you get out of there. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like you had that kind of loyalty of everybody staying. That as soon as they got good, they wanted to move on and go to L.A. or New York.
And didn't Hicks spend a lot of time down in Florida?
I met him. I met him in the Carolinas. I don't think he spent a lot of time.
I thought he dated a girl in Florida for some reason.
Oh yeah. But that was in South Florida. You're right about that.
Okay,
you're right about that. I forgot that story.
Was Brian and Dennis Regan, were they both coming up together?
Brian was a couple years before Dennis. Dennis did that after.
sometimes you do things or say things that might have been forgotten, but they still stick with you and they make you cringe. Like you say something really stupid. I worked on the TV show King of Queens, and my first day on the set, this guy is walking me around the set, and he goes, you know, we got a lot of comics here. You probably know these guys. He goes, you know, there's Patton Oswalt, and I go, yeah, I know Patton. And he goes, this is, do you know Nick Bukai? And I go, oh, I know, I've never met him, but that's, oh yeah, Nick Bukai. And he goes, yeah, we got Dennis Regan. I go, Dennis, you're Dennis Regan? And he goes, yeah. And I go, you're Dennis Regan, the comedian? He goes, yes, I am. And I said, oh my God, I love your brother. And I felt the whole room just drop. And I'm like,
oh no.
And as soon as that came out of my mouth, I'm like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? And I still to this day, anytime I see Dennis, I say hi. I don't tell him I've ever met him before.
Smart.
I go,
Smart
hey
move.
man, I'm a stand. I go, oh, nice to meet you. And I don't want to go, you probably remember I was one of the biggest assholes you ever met before.
I had, I think Dennis, I don't know, it might even been like 4 or 5 years after Brian is when Dennis started to work. And the first time that I had him on my show, I've always had this ball busting thing with Brian. And when Dennis comes in, he looks so much like him. I just right away started to say shit like we were pals. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Was I not? And I'm like, oh, I'm fucking, I've pushed our relationship years further than it would have went on its own.
And there's a hint of Brian in his speech pattern.
Sure, of course.
Obviously, they're brothers. So, and I always say, if you want to learn how to do an impression, you listen to the parents or the children of the person you're trying to do an impression of.
Wait, is this right? I've never heard this before.
They do a water. It's like, I grew up in a deaf family. Everyone in my family's deaf. My mom, my dad, and my sister are all completely deaf, which is why I learned how to do voices, because growing up in a deaf family, I couldn't learn how to talk from my family. I learned how to talk by copying all the voices I heard on TV. And I never got an accent from the Bronx, where I grew up. And I've always been able to mimic anything I hear. But the thing that I notice is that we all get our goofy speech patterns and all of our goofy accents because we're all trying to adjust to our surroundings, our immediate surroundings. Our family being that immediate, but because my family was deaf, I couldn't learn anything from them. And sometimes it's subtle. You call your best friend and someone picks up the phone and it's not your best friend. And it could be somebody the opposite sex in the same family. They've all learned how to pick up the phone and go, mellow. And you think it's that person. They all pick up those little nuances. But yeah, if you're doing an impression or you want to learn an impression of somebody, listen to the children or the parents of somebody, and you can hear like remnants of it.
I've never heard that before in my life. That's fascinating. I always think it's funny of like, once somebody cracks the impression, everybody can do it.
Yeah, everyone can do an impression of that impressionist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the reason is because someone shows you where to put your footing. You kind of exaggerate this.
Right.
And then, always go like this with these words and you go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like I could never do an Al Pacino. And then I heard Frank Caliendo do an Al Pacino and it sounded like Archie Bunker to me. It sounded like, God, geez, it sounded like this. And then I realized that is almost the same thing. Like you hear people, and then sometimes when you try to do an impression, you hit something else on the way there. But yeah, it's when someone does a bad impression, it's the greatest gift to somebody who does impressions because they just lay out a little bit of groundwork for you, and then you can like close it up.
I always think it's funny is like with the first Bush, when everyone started to you know what I mean? Like you're like with
right. That's not even how.
He doesn't really talk that way, but it does sound enough like Dana Carvey, where you go, okay, I get it now.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about Dana Carvey is that Dana Carvey didn't do like spot on impressions. He did caricatures,
right?
That made such an imprint that anyone who does that impression now is doing a varying degree of Dana doing whether what do you call it, Bush or Regis. Everybody's out of control. Everybody's done that, and they're doing a version of Dana. Dana ruins impressions, I think, for people because he like hits it so hard that people.
Well, what do you think is a better thing to do, to be able to master that voice or do the character, to blow it up? Because to me, I mean, I always think, even with an artist, when someone can take 5 lines and you go, oh, there's Burt Reynolds. You know what I mean? You can just barely touch the paper. Now, I could never do that, but I could copy what they do, you know?
Yeah, because they show you how to do it.
They show you, yeah.
Yeah, there was, I just love hearing a good impression. I love hearing a good impression. I love doing impressions. I was in Vegas last weekend and I saw Dean Edwards. Dean Edwards was the first guy ever that I ever saw do a Denzel Washington impression. Dean Edwards was on SNL.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know if he did it on SNL. I know he does it in his stand-up. But so many comics after Dean started doing a Denzel,
right? And
it's just a shade of Dean's impression. But for me, it's I guess it's just if you have material, like someone like Brewer does amazing impressions and has great material.
Right.
And sometimes when you hear a good impression, I can just listen to somebody talk in that voice all day if they can do a good impression.
Yeah.
And then there's some impressions that I'll do that I feel like this sounds like the guy, but the reaction I get is people, like whenever I do Sam Kinison in Los Angeles, people kind of get weird, like, oh my God, like they get, you know.
Why is that?
It's like people get scared and they hear that voice.
Yeah.
They go, wait a second.
Yeah.
Wait a second. This guy was dead. He was dead. And then you get off stage and like, how come nobody reacted to that? Like, oh, that was fucking scary, man.
Yeah.
But then you hear amazing stories from people. Like there's a guy who plays a piano player at the Comedy Store who said, and I love this, whenever you do an impression and somebody who knows the guy comes up and goes, hey, I got a story, I don't know if you can use it. But a guy at the Comedy Store said, I was with Sam one night at a party and Sam had a mirror piled high with cocaine. And he's talking to people and then he passes the mirror behind him in mid-conversation, not realizing he's handing this mirror full of coke to a woman who's 8 months pregnant. And everyone goes, Sam, what are you doing? He goes, oh, fuck, I'm sorry. Jesus, I'm sorry. I didn't do that intentionally. I'm sorry. And they go, Sam, she's giving birth next month. And he goes, well, plus you don't want the kid coming out next month going, where's the dealer's pager? Oh! And this guy telling me the story said, a month later, I'm with Sam in a car driving over the Hollywood Hills. And I go, remember that party you were at where you tried to give coke to that girl that was pregnant? He said, Sam's face is completely blank. And he goes, remember that part? The girl that she was pregnant, and you had that great line. What was the line you said? You go, oh yeah. Plus, you don't want the kid coming out going, "Where's the dealer's pager?" And he said, Sam looked at him and went, "Oh, did I say that? I'm going to write that down. I'm going to do that on stage tonight. That's a great bit." And he used it on stage. No memory of
doing it at all
whatsoever. I love stories like that.
Oh yeah.
I think what's so impressive is your laugh. The laugh like him, I've never heard anyone nail that laugh.
This is the best Sam that's ever been done.
The stories about Sam, I remember Bob Costas did an interview with Sam. Bob used to do a late night show after Letterman. It was Johnny Carson.
Oh yeah, then
Letterman.
And it was like a one-on-one, no audience. Yeah.
And Bob's guess every episode would always have a moment where they'd go, how did you know that? Oh my God. His research was incredible.
Right.
He had Sam Kinison on his show. I remember thinking, how is Bob Costas going to know anything about Sam Kinison? And Bob knows him. Bob goes, Sam, I used to watch you back at the Comedy Store back in the early 80s. And back then, your entire act was based on that day's obituaries. And I remember thinking to myself, you know what? This guy is funny, but he's too dark and he's never going to make it in this industry. And Sam went, wow, God, I forgot about that. And he explained the bit that Sam would walk on stage with the obituaries from that day's newspaper and go, hey, folks, my name's Sam Kinison. I want to thank you guys for coming out. And I want to thank you for supporting stand-up comedy. I'll tell you a couple people that you won't be seeing here tonight. And then he would just start reading people who just died, like Esther Goldberg. No, she didn't catch the bus. She's not here. But apparently, if you want to see Esther's work, it's going to be displayed on Sunday at Evergreen Mortuary. It's going to be amazing. Yeah. And the darkest guy, and anyone who I became a fan of, I would just obsessively watch, and their voice would just creep in. And then it was always easy to, like, when a voice gets stuck in your head to do it. And then you do stand-up, and you realize comics go, fuck that. Don't, like, impressions are the worst thing you can do. And for the first, like, couple years, I didn't do any impressions because I realized that comics hated that.
Well, I don't think that that's true. I think all comics love impressions. They hate people that only do those, like, imagine a Hollywood party.
Right.
With these, that's always been. But, when I'm trying to think of different. Richard Belzer would just drop one, and Jay Moore would always just be doing stand up, and then drop something big in the middle of it, and it always destroys.
Jay Moore, by the way, I think does the single best impression I've ever heard. It's his Colin Quinn impression, where it's not only a spot on impression, Jay's vocabulary grows as he does the Colin Quinn.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And it's one of those things where sometimes I hear an impression, I go, oh man, I want to do that. But then sometimes a guy like Jay Moore will come along and do an impression like that, and we go, oh,
yeah,
you can't even touch that. Like he perfected it. There's no room to make it any better. But yeah, haven't you noticed that? His vocabulary, like he uses.
I'm going to have to go back and check now because he does my favorite too, where he does Nice Guy Eddie, which is and like he knows that he can get me on it. So that's all he'll do when he's around me.
What is Nice Guy Eddie?
From Reservoir Dogs. And that's Chris Penn. But he only does it from that, my daddy, and he runs into that whole thing. But this is one of my favorite Jay Moore things ever. So I was in here with Jay Norton and Opie and Louis C.K. and Gervais. So Louis, and I'm like, wow, what a fucking room I'm sitting in, right? Yeah. Louis C.K. and Gervais were really at their peak, and they were having this bromance, and they were just going back and forth, even after all, all these other people were here.
Oh my God.
And fucking Jay was so pissed. Yeah.
There was a line that came out of it that infuriated Jay.
Yeah, something. I can't remember what it was.
Well, go ahead. I know the line.
But Jay would just keep calling back as those two. And he was so fucking mad. And he was saying to me, like, really, what was that about? I'm like, look, those guys are at the peak of their, you know what I mean? They're loving life. Why are you being mad that they didn't pass the ball more?
I remember the line. It was Louis was talking about working on a new special, and he had hired a trainer. And that infuriated Jay. And Jay said, did Louis say that he's working out with a trainer for his fucking comedy special? And it was something that went past, nobody picked up on it for like 10, 15 minutes, and Jay called back to say, what the fuck was that?
He's really, yeah.
And he was right.
He was really pissed.
The other thing that's crazy is I started in 1993 doing stand-up, and every comedy club, actually in radio, everyone in radio and everybody in stand-up said, you just missed it.
Right.
Like it was a party right before you got here. It was the biggest party.
Yeah.
And the thing that you hear about in comedy clubs from that moment on is it used to be at the end of a week that comics would be asked, do you want to get paid in green or white?
Yeah.
And that was, that was something that happened in the clubs.
There was a club that when I first started at, the guy, and I'm not going to give his name out, but his nickname was Johnny Cash because you never wanted to take a check off of him. But he would.
Is he still in the business?
I think he might have died.
Okay.
I think. I hope he died.
I was going to take an educated guess.
No. Okay. I'm pretty sure he's gone. And he had like a chain of clubs before anybody. I mean, like if it wasn't for the cocaine thing, he probably could have made billions. But he would say, okay, let's see, what did you do? And you'd be paying you. And he goes, let's see, what did you do Tuesday night? You did $1 grand. And that would suddenly be part of it.
Oh, no.
And it got to the point where there was only like, 5 or 6 guys that were going to headline there anymore. Mitchell Walters, of course. But no problem with this all works out. This is a decent way to do business. But no, he did that to a lot of people, and that was just, like you said, it was just the times.
I heard a story at Rascals. Do they still have Rascals here in
No, I don't
West
think
Orange?
so, right? It's gone.
The first time I went to Rascals in West Orange, the guy who owned the place said that Sam did a show there, stayed there till 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning with Mitchell. The cleaning crew's coming in the next morning. They're vacuuming. And somebody came up to Sam and said, hey, so we're going to get the car to come over and take you back to the hotel if you want to go. And he said, I didn't say I want to go. And they said, well, Mitchell said to tell you that. And he said, where is he? Where is he? Mitchell, get over here. Mitchell, get in the car. Go wait in the car. And he made Mitchell high on coke sit in the sun for 3 hours while he kept partying. Like, oh, what an abusive friend.
Yes.
Jeez.
And I don't, I know, go ahead. Did you want to plug? Go ahead.
Craig Gass is performing at Valley Forge Casino in King of Prussia, PA next Friday, January 18th. And he'll be at Harbor Square Theater in Stone Harbor, New Jersey the next night, Saturday, January 19th. Go to getgas.com for tickets. And all of Craig's dates, Gas with 2 S's.
Now, the thing is, every once in a while, they'll come up doing a Kinnison movie, and then it'll, peter out. And then I'm always like, why? And then we're like, people don't really remember him. I go, you don't need to remember him. The second this fucking movie comes out and people will find out the story, it doesn't matter. This fucking kind of insanity has never happened. You're going to fucking go see the stupid Queen movie that whitewashed everything? And I'll give you a real fucking Kinnison movie? Forget about it.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Sam was a preacher. He grew up in a traveling ministry and preached the word of God, and always said when he became a comedian that if you think this is tough, making people laugh in a comedy club when it's stiff in a comedy club, imagine trying to get people to give you money on a Sunday morning. But he fell in love with stand-up, fell in love with Richard Pryor, and went to the Comedy Store one night, I guess, and saw Robin Williams, and that was his, he was going through a divorce, and he said, I've always wanted to do stand-up comedy. And just made a hard left turn from preaching and spreading the word of God to cocaine, hookers, jokes about the Bible, jokes about Jesus. Yeah. It was the most insane story.
But I do think he probably kept the same character. You know what I mean? Like, I think that preacher character was working as a stand-up, And I think the same with Chris Rock, too. When you watch Chris Rock, you're like, okay, you've been to church.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good point. I never thought about that with Chris Rock. But yeah, Sam, I remember when I was a kid, a friend of mine, long before I wanted to be a comedian, a friend of mine knew Sam, and I'd go out to L.A. every year for this music industry thing called the NAMM show. It's all like, it's just a bunch of rock stars getting together at this convention where they're selling equipment. And Sam would always host a party. I have video of Sam at these parties that I keep meaning to like pull up and post online. But I remember doing coke with him. I was 17 or 18 years old and walking through it was me and Sam and Carl LeBeau. Actually, it was a bunch of those guys that his outlaws that he traveled with. And we're walking through the lobby of the Anaheim Hilton, and we're all coked out. And someone goes, some guy in a wheelchair who actually tracked me down years later when I got on the Howard Stern show. This guy, he was in a wheelchair, and he said, Sam, I just want you to know that Jesus loves you. And high on coke, Sam stopped and said, oh, yeah, man, you can't shake that guy. Yeah, man, it's, and this dude in the wheelchair started quoting Bible verses, and Sam said, well, actually, you realize that quote, you know what he's talking about there in that passage of the Bible. And he just got into a 10, 15-minute heavy discussion while the rest of us were like, feeling uncomfortable in her own skin. Just he's got the coke, so we have to wait for him to get done with his Bible discussion.
But I don't think he ever gave up. You know what I mean? Like Sam was a believer, and then Carl was like a 7-year-old preacher too.
Yeah,
like Carl has.
Interesting.
Yeah, Carl, and Carl's family has got a couple of fucking very strange things that took place too. So that's why those guys bonded so much. Because I think just because they did what they did, they never went, oh, we don't believe. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that shit was still there.
Carl, by the way, to this day is one of the greatest stand-up performers I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Every comic who watches him goes, holy shit, that's one of the top 5, top 10 comics out there, period. And he's doing a regular show now in Vegas, a midnight show at the Laugh Factory out in Vegas. And that he is one of the greatest storytellers.
Unbelievable.
His story about Sam's passing.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Is really heavy.
But I saw Carl, who was opening for Sam, and like during Sam, you're still thinking about Carl. That's how good they were. Yeah. And then also there was always this thing of, the writing went back and forth because a lot of the writing came from, like you said, just bullshitting around, fucking around, and Sam took it to the stage. You know what I mean? But he always needed Carl to be that person to have that sounding board back and forth.
I love hearing about those moments where comedians find that galvanizing moment where they find their voice.
Mm-hmm.
And the one on Sam is amazing, that he got out of his first marriage. Did you ever hear about how his first marriage went to shit on his wedding night? This is in the book that his brother wrote, Brother Sam, that Sam gets married to a woman from the church and has this gut feeling that she did something behind his back. And on his wedding night, Sam puts on an act for this girl. He starts crying in front of her and says, oh my God, I love you so much. And I feel bad. I did something. Oh God, I just feel like I betrayed you. And my soul. And she says, just tell me, it doesn't matter whatever you did. I love you. It doesn't matter what you did. And he said, well, I ran into an ex of mine a few weeks ago and didn't expect to see her. And we ended up kissing. And I feel terrible about it. And he has this whole puts on, and it's all a lie. The whole thing's an act. And she says, look, I'm going to level with you. I ran into my ex last week and I had sex with him. And he goes, I knew it, you whore! I was lying! You fucking slut! Oh! And that is how his marriage starts.
Right.
Is this awful wedding night. And that lasts, I don't know how long. He gets out of that marriage and immediately marries another woman to spite his first wife, that he ends up moving to Hollywood with to be a comedian. And Carl LeBeau has the story about picking up Sam and he to go hit an open mic, and there's dishes being smashed and glasses, and he's like, fuck you, oh, you fucking bitch, oh, Jesus, oh, and they're smashing shit. Sam gets out of the car, just go, get the car. They jump in the car and they race over the Hollywood Hills. Sam goes up on stage, and he's still just shell-shocked that he's ruined his life for a second time now. And he gets up on stage, and there's a happy couple in the front row kissing each other. They're young, they're good-looking, and Sam goes into, are you guys... You guys seem very happy. Are you guys been together a long time? Huh? Yeah. Are you going to get married? No? Are you thinking about getting married? Oh, that's great. Let me just tell you something. If you're thinking about married, I want you to remember this face. Oh! And apparently there was such a reaction in the crowd that he realized he found something.
Right.
And that became his voice. I love hearing stories. I'm such a fan of stand-up comedy.
Yeah, I know that you are, and I think that's kind of amazing because a lot of people forget it as they get into it for a while.
Which is the reason why I love going to open mics. Every city I go to, I always go a week ahead of time, and I'll do every radio station they got. I'll be a different guest for different formats. Like if I go to a rock station, that's where I really
Right.
That's where I feel most comfortable because all my best stories, opening for Metallica and living at Eddie Van Halen's house and Gene Simmons hating me and all my stories perfect for that format. But then I'll go to a top 40 station and talk about goofy run-ins with Justin Bieber and working on Family Guy and then country stations with the country acts that I worked with and every night that I have free leading up to my shows, I go to open mics. And open mics are where you find people who still love comedy.
Right.
Because comics who are working, it's shocking to me. Even when I went to go hang out with Greer and Dean Edwards last week, they were like, you just came to hang out? And I go, dude, I love comedy. This is great. Are you kidding me? This is awesome. I've seen you perform a few times where I just stop in just to watch you.
Right.
And I still have to tell you, I was blown away by the thing that you did because I didn't know, I had no idea that you had done stand-up.
Yeah, when I was younger.
I had no idea you did stand-up. And then I see that you're performing and I watch your set and I came in at the tail end and I've been trying to think of how to summarize where the world is at today, and you did it in a way that was like, fuck. And I remember it was the first time I met Ron. I go to Ron afterwards, and I go, Ron, I'm Craig S. I'm a stand-up comedian. That was amazing. And he goes, oh, thanks. And I didn't leave. I kept staring at you. I go, no, seriously, that was good. And you go, yeah, man. All right. And then you said, I'm a big fan. And I go, yeah, but seriously, there's moments in life where sometimes somebody comes off a little creepy to you and you go, oh man, I got to stay away from the guy. And then there's times when if you have any self-awareness, you realize, I had no follow-up. I just wanted to keep repeating. That was good. And I realized I'm being creepy now. And that was regrettable.
Well, I'm glad that you're here now.
Me too.
It all come around. We're wrapping this show up, Chris?
Yes, we are.
How about a plug?
Craig Gass, he's performing at Valley Forge Casino in King of Prussia, PA next Friday, January 18th. Then he'll be at Harbor Square Theater in Stone Harbor, New Jersey. The next night, Saturday, January 19th. Go to getgas.com for tickets and all of his dates. He gets gas with 2 S's.
Let's see if we can guess what Earl is ending the show with today. I know what I would end with. I would have did Kinnison Wow thing. What do you got, Earl?
I had the Alabama Shakes. I ain't the same.
Oh, so you're not even paying attention to everything. Greg just sat here, just bit after bit of Kinnison. None of it. No, you can go out with Alabama Shakes. They're great. All right. That's it for us. Great to see you, buddy. Thanks for stopping in here, man. And we'll do this again soon, all right?
I still have a million questions.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I don't answer any.
All right,
I don't answer anymore.
All right, you got it.
All right.